Gather around, y'all people, let me tell you all a story of something I once loved when I was a child. It's a series of books that features a bunch of little feline creatures, and they live out there in the great old English wild. And it's all about cats, and they hunt and fight and spat, and they don't know words for things like people and cars. Now Jaron, Mitchell, and Toasty, your creators and co-hosties, are gonna tell you all about it, and then we can all be stars. They're gonna tell you all about it, and then we can all be stars.
Greetings, warriors. Welcome.
Greetings.
To Stars in the Making. This is a monumentous time for us because we are moving into a new era of warriors, and as such, we are also moving into a new era of this podcast. My name is, of course, Michael B. Jordan. No relation.
Hey, I'm Grandpa James. I'm the wise old one. They, them?
Wait, and I'm Scrump.
I figured we'd do that later.
Oh, right. Sorry. Let me
cut this out.
I'll try that again so that I don't ruin your scrumping. I'm Grandpa James. I'm the wise old one.
Hey, I'm Scrump.
Scrump.
Welcome.
Scrump the little rascal.
Welcome, Scrump. Scrump, Grandpa James. We have big shoes to fill. Those guys who did this podcast before, they knew a lot about what they were doing, and they were really good at it right away.
They were.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're three podcast legends. Everybody knows us from our other podcasts.
Everyone knows podcast legend.
People
Michael
have-
B. Jordan, no relation.
People have listened to so many episodes of Scrump's Advice podcast, I'm sure. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
you know, I'm just excited that they gave us a shot, you know?
Yeah, and I've never even seen a cat, so I'm excited to talk about this weird book and these weird creatures in it.
Well, I don't think you need to have seen a cat. There's no pictures in this book, Michael B. Jordan.
There are
Not related.
there were pictures in my book.
There are pictures of cats in this book.
Fuck! I
I'm pretty
revealed
sure
so early that I didn't read the book.
Every chapter begins with a picture of a cat. Anyway,
Yeah, there's like a little
I may be a
illustration.
podcasting professional with years under my belt as a grandpa would, but even I sometimes forget to order the second series of Warrior Cats on time and then have to only listen to the audiobook.
You know there's like PDFs of
Yeah,
these
I
books
did
online.
send a free
I learned
PDF.
that yesterday when Jaron sent me.
I learned.
You know
I
you
sent
can find
that,
PDFs of every book online, right?
I sent that
Like,
to
pretty
Mitchell
easy.
when I found out that Mitchell didn't have the book yesterday.
Well, that's great. That's a good excuse for me. I'm not Mitchell. I'm Grandpa James. I didn't get the DM.
and we all love your World War II podcast, Grandpa James, so thank you for joining us.
Yeah. It's all stories that I dreamt I didn't fight in World War II.
Oh my gosh. Is
Yeah,
that the
of course.
author of The Things They Carried, the worst book ever written?
That's about Vietnam, but yes.
That's an opinion for a different podcast. Anyway, Zip removes mask. I'm Jaron D Ratman, he, him.
I'm Mitchell Crispi, they, them. I'm leaving the costume on, though.
And I'm Scrump, he, him.
We all love
All right,
Scrump.
You're committing to this, right?
Yeah, for sure. My name is already kind of stupid. It's
For the next 6 book reviews, we are joined by Scrump.
You think Scrump is any more serious than Toasty? Be so fucking for real right now.
Scrump could be a
I
pretty
will
good
not.
nickname for Toasty.
I will not be for real.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my name is Scrump. It's short for Toasty.
It's short because when you crush up toast, it makes scrums.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, man, I thought that was better than that.
You guys missed right before this recording when Mitchell was singing I Just Haven't Met You Yet and said, "Do you know that song?" Because I didn't laugh.
And you guys can't not laugh at my jokes. It makes me anxious and it makes me talk weird and say bad stuff. And
Anyway, this is, of course, a review of Warriors: The New Prophecy, the second series of books, which I'm so excited to get into. This is the first book, Midnight. If I remember correctly, this was my single favorite book in the whole series when I was a kid. I mentioned it in our Fire and Ice review, but the parts where the cats leave the forest are like my favorite parts of the books, because I just love like these little cats exploring the world and knowing way more things than I thought that they should.
Yeah.
They know what cows and horses are.
Yeah,
And sheep.
that all comes back strong in this book. I'm really glad that even though they know what sheep are, they don't know the word for the ocean. That would have been too much for me, I think. But I do really love the idea of watching these cats gaze out upon the ocean. For some reason, wild cats in the forest, that makes sense to me. Cats by the ocean, I'm like, that they shouldn't be there. This truly is an adventure.
Not be on the beach.
How did they get there?
They probably,
they
like
walked
6 days of traveling, it seems.
They walked a really long time. They walked for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I had a really
think
hard
it's
time
definitely more
counting the
than-
time in the book.
Well, because like they leave on the half moon
Right, yeah.
after the gathering, and then while they're lost in the two-legged place, Brambleclaw's like, a full moon. I could have been at a gathering right now, and instead I'm being driven around by a crazy old man. Which,
This is not going to make much sense because we're just kind of jumping into it.
yeah, we'll get to
For
that.
those who have not read the books.
Listen to the audiobook like I did. You don't have to read it. I think that the most interesting part about what am I trying to say? We have new
Take your time.
protagonists. We are in a new perspective for this new series. And it seems with that, they're setting the precedent that we have 2 perspectives now, 2 protagonists. We jump back and forth throughout the length of the book, and that also includes a prologue like normal. We're keeping that up, where we hear from a bunch of cats. This prologue confused the fuck out of me, if I'm being honest.
This prologue immediately after like the establishment of kind of how StarClan works in the previous book, this book just goes right in and it's like, yeah, these cats just like, they're all still individuals. They all still like hang out and they all still like have conflict with each other. Whereas they were portrayed as more of like a spiritual body, like sort of a collective with like sort of distinct experiences and personalities.
Yeah, they still get to hang out.
They still get to get mad at each other.
Yeah, they still get to question each other, and I guess the most recently dead clan leader gets to make decisions about prophecies. They don't really spell out why,
or
but I guess
just
not
random
important.
dead clan cats.
Oh, that's true.
like-
yeah, it's Oakhart, isn't it?
Yeah,
He's just a
Oakhart
deputy.
and Deadfoot too, who were deputies.
Strange.
And Nightstar, who wasn't even a real leader.
But who else from Shadow Clan can they possibly choose?
It is very interesting to me that they let him still call himself Nightstar once he went and joined them after they rejected him, and then he lied
that's
about
true.
it.
Well-
He's like, "Hey guys, it's me, Nightstar, right?" And they're all just like,
Well, there was no clan leader
No,
to
no, no,
do
no,
a
no,
ceremony
no.
about changing his name, so
"Yeah, I guess
they just
dude,
had to. But we get
There's no Star Clan to watch over them."
a bunch of cats sitting around a reflective pool, and it's not made clear at first that it's StarClan until they start talking about dead cats, and you're like, oh, this must be StarClan.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking down into the water, talking about each of the 4 clans choosing a member of their clan to give a prophecy to, or to work through this next prophecy. And they do a very classic thing where they're like, all of the cats can see who it is, but to the reader, they're just like, that one? Really? And then the next one gets picked and they're like, oh, that
Interesting
one,
choice.
huh? Yeah.
Like, I guess they don't have to be super specific if they can all see, but it is a little bit of like the pronoun game of like, we can't say names. It's got to be a mystery.
It's got to be a
just all
mystery
you-
for 2 more chapters.
We'll talk about that cat. It's like a very anime thing of them to do. Don't tell me you're going to use that technique. Come on.
Next episode. It's very fitting, I think. They were like, new series, we have to start with a new prophecy. We cannot have warrior cats without a prophecy.
Well, the name of the series is The New Prophecy.
I didn't have a book in front of me. It doesn't say that on Audible. It just says midnight.
I also don't know if that's like a retroactive series grouping or if this is supposed to just be like the start of something.
It's the start of something new prophecy.
Yeah, that moves us into chapter 1, and I really like the way Brambleclaw's introduction is sort of like it's sort of teased a little bit where it does the same thing as in the prologue where it's like this is he tabby? I don't know. How do they describe?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They just like refer to him as a tabby cat until he's woken up, I think, from his dream. I think that's very cool.
He's having a pretty rough dream.
Yeah, so our new main character, or at least one of them, is Brambleclaw.
Did
Previously
I predict
Brambleclaw.
that at the end?
I think he did. I know that I did.
I think I did.
I was really positive it was going to be Cloudtail. Fuck.
It's gonna
We
be
don't hear from
okay,
him.
actually.
Don't worry about
All
it.
of the cats that we used to know super well that we no longer hear from, I'm like, I don't know who that is. Friendship ended with Cloudtail. New best
the
friend
hell's
is
Frostfur?
Brambleclaw.
Brambleclaw.
I literally was listening to the book, trying to get myself to remember the new cat names by being like, it makes sense that it's Claw because brambles are sharp. That's why they named him that. And I still
Also, he
forgot.
was Tiger Claw's son.
Right.
Yeah,
True.
that's kind of fucked up that Firestar was like, you've done such a good job proving your loyalty to ThunderClan, so I will name you after your treacherous father.
Make sure you
Yes.
make sure you clear your name
Make
well.
sure you never forget.
So we're introduced to Brambleclaw, and he has a dream where he sees Blue Star. And this is where he himself is introduced to the prophecy that he has been chosen for. Spoilers. And she tells him the prophecy must be fulfilled, and he has to meet 3 other cats at the new moon to listen to what Midnight has to tell him. Which is the most vague shit you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
I really like the prophecies in this book.
I think that it's cool.
I feel like they thread the line of like giving them enough information to act, but not giving them so much information that they know exactly what's going on, and it makes for a bit more intrigue for the reader.
I mean,
I wish I had noticed that Midnight was capitalized like a proper noun. This will come up later, obviously, but I did not fucking notice when I read it.
I just guessed. I mean, first of all, I didn't. Capital letters escape me completely. For all I know, the book is
Does he
written
listen
without
to the
any
audiobooks?
punctuation. Yeah, I didn't see the.
Yeah, this book is actually just one run-on sentence.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Even without capital letters, I guessed from the beginning that I thought Midnight was going to be a cat. I thought Midnight was going to be introduced like chapter 2, and they were going to be like a new best friend. Spoilers: we don't see Midnight that early. But it is a capital letter for a reason, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, definitely not a chapter 2 best friend. That would be wild. And then we're strung along the entire book, and Brambleclaw's like, what did Blue Star mean by Midnight? And then Midnight walks up and is like, hey, what's up, Brambleclaw? Dreaming again?
Yeah, or even better.
Thankfully, so far, Brambleclaw does not seem to be as oblivious as Firestar was.
No.
Affectionate.
Well, he's
Yeah.
got. They talk about throughout the book that he's got all of the stories of Fireclaw's adventures to inform his own choices. Multiple times they're always like, man, I remember a time when Fireclaw had to do stuff just like this. Well, not Brambleclaw doesn't say that, but people tell that to Brambleclaw.
Firestar or Fireheart.
What did I say?
Fireclaw.
Fireclaw.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man.
We need a counter.
I can't. I had to go pick
I
up.
get it with most of the other ones, but that was our main guy for 6
our-
books.
Not anymore.
Mitchell
Friendship
did say
ended.
as soon as these guys aren't main characters anymore, they will forget the name. Spent
not-
6 whole books with this guy. Who's that? What's his face again?
He's not cool anymore. Now he's a deadbeat dad. Like
What's his Fireface?
Fireface. What? Amazon Fire Stick? What's his name? Doesn't matter.
Fire Stick. Fire TV?
Fire.
I think a kitty pet named Fire TV should join the clans.
I wish that the books would go on forever, getting more and more modern, and that kitty pets named stuff like, people are naming their kitty pets like Rubik's Cube nowadays.
Modern?
Yeah.
You could name your cat that at any point since like the 80s.
If you were really, really creative, you could have named your cat that in 1892. But what I mean is that us Gen Zers are big into naming our pets stupid stuff, I think.
Yeah.
When was the last
This
time
is
you
the
met
kitty pet iPod Nano.
Yeah, exactly. See? That's a great name for a cat. But
I
then
can't
like
wait for Quentin B. Squinton to join the
Quentin be squinting.
yeah.
Anyway,
Then Brambleclaw starts like going about ThunderClan after waking up from this horrible dream, and we're introduced to so many cats, and some of them, I swear to God, we've never seen before in our lives. Where did some of these people come from?
a few of them we've had quite a few name changes as well, like Ferncloud and
Yeah, who's Ferncloud?
Fernpaw.
Ferncloud was Fernpaw. That was
okay.
That's the
Darkstripe's
apprentice
apprentice,
that
right?
Darkstripe took a weird liking to.
Or Dustpelt.
Oh,
Dustpelt liked
Dustpelt.
Fernpaw, but I think Fernpaw was Darkstripe's apprentice.
Yes, but Dustpelt was like,
So hold on.
yeah, and then she has kits, and they're Dustpelt's kits.
So mentors can have kits with their apprentice?
Well, it wasn't Dustpelt's kit. for
Fernpaw
apprentice, I
wasn't
don't think.
Dustpelt's apprentice.
Okay.
As long as I remember
Dustpelt
correctly.
tried to take over Fernpaw's training, and Firestar was like, I know
You like
what
her
you're
too
up
much.
to.
You won't be hard enough on her. Yeah, but you're right. There's a lot of new kits, and I don't remember any of their names because they're literally only in the first few chapters.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of like, the time jump is apparently a whole year, 4 seasons.
Yeah, I think it's 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Unless we have talked in the past that it's unclear if they have 4 seasons in a year or if they have 3, because they don't really like. It's always like Greenleaf is kind of spring and summer, and then there's Leaf Bear.
There's Leaf Fall and Leaf Bear, and then New
New
Leaf,
Leaf
and Greenleaf.
Right, there are 4.
the
So it's
4
been about a
seasons.
year, which is a while for these cats. And all
Yeah,
of
long
our
enough
old
for
favorite.
quite a few things to happen.
We got new warriors,
Apprentices who have become warriors, kids who have become apprentices, warriors who have become elders.
new kits born and apprenticed off screen, including 2 very important new characters. Squirrel Paw, terrible name. I feel so bad for this poor cat.
Squirrel Paw.
and Leaf Paw.
The Warriors fan base has affectionately given her the shortening of Squilp.
Squilp.
Squilp!
I'm gonna adopt Squilp.
Okay.
Squilp will help me never ever forget what her name is.
I
be honest-
like saying Squirrel Paw out loud. It's hard for me not to just say Squilp because I've read it on Twitter so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, these 2 kits are Firestar's children. And I straight up squealed when I read it. I was like, oh my god.
Squilp.
It's adorable.
He's a father.
Yeah, and Yellow.
It's cute.
No, not Yellow. Sandstorm is their mom, and they are twins, I guess.
Well, all cats are
I mean-
kind of twins. They're born to the same litter.
But we'll get to. Okay, all cats are kind of all cats are twins. A cat.
Hey, cat. Whoa,
All cats are twins, but we'll get. It's important because they have a twin connection that not all cats have. And also, isn't 2 a pretty small litter for cats? I feel like
2 is
So
a pretty
congrats
small
to
litter, and it
them.
makes me wonder if something happened and they lost some kits, or if they just had a suspiciously small litter.
Suspiciously small litter. StarClan wanted. They both absorbed multiple siblings in the womb to gain their power, and that's why they have such strength and connection.
Yeah, so in our first chapter with Leaf Paw, sorry.
I mean, in Warriors, typically their litters are 1 to 3 kids. Like, I don't know what it is for actual
Yeah,
cats,
I don't
but
think
as
they've
far as
ever had like a
Warriors
litter
goes-
of 4.
I've
And
never. I guess
it's
that's
just
true.
too many characters to keep track of. Or like we
All
can't.
I
If
know
we have
is that
4
when my-
kids, then one of them has to die. I think we've had litters of 4, but then like kits have just like died from the cold or carried off by birds.
Whenever there's a
or-
bunch of kits that need to die in the story, there's always some suspiciously large litters happening just before that. All I know is that when I was a kid and my grandma's cat had a litter for us to take kittens home from, it was like 6 cats.
Victoria Holmes giving one cat like an 8-cat litter and tenting her fingers knowing she's gonna kill half of those cats.
Looks like green cough is back.
Uh-oh,
It's like-
I got my whole life ahead of me. No, the green cough is coming.
This is the same way that Protestants working the fields used to think.
This book, in many ways, is a book of firsts, and one of the firsts that we have is the split perspective between Leafpaw and Brambleclaw, and in Leafpaw's perspective, we learn that Squirrelpaw and Leafpaw have a special connection. the another first of this book is that we have our first cats that have superpowers. These cats can feel each other's thoughts and feelings, including physical sensations like taste, which is important to the plot later in this book. How do we feel about this?
I'm happy for them.
Because, like, mainly what it feels like to me is that Leafpaw can, like, super feel what Squirrelpaw is feeling.
Yes, it seems that way.
While Squilp kind of has some vague ideas and only really feels things when Leafpaw, like, really tries to beam the thoughts at them. I think it's because Leafpaw is a medicine cat apprentice. They have a bit more of a, I don't know, intrinsic connection.
Yeah, it seems almost implied that Squilp is not as aware of this as Leafpaw is.
Yeah.
Because later in the book, she, like, knows things because Leafpaw is, like, beaming the information to her, but she's like, I don't know. I don't know how I knew this.
Right. It seems like it's been there, but Leafpaw has figured it out. And so my read on it was not necessarily that it's stronger for one of the two of them, more like training as a medicine cat has heightened it for Leafpaw, and being a stupid son of a bitch has lowered it for Squilp.
Yeah, we could talk about Squilp. We could talk about Squirrelpaw.
Early on, these first few chapters, the main thrust, I think, is that Brambleclaw and Squilp do not get along.
Brambleclaw fucking hates Squirrelpaw.
And Squirrelpaw fucking hates Brambleclaw and everybody, honestly.
The first impression we get of Squirrelpaw is Brambleclaw saying the pain in the ass of the clan, effectively.
Yeah, exactly.
ThunderClan's biggest nuisance.
Squilp feels like the most annoying younger cousin you could ever have.
Absolutely.
Like, they come to your house hopped up on Kool-Aid, they're breaking your PS4 controller, like, they won't shut the fuck up ever.
You're telling them nicely, can you please put that thing down? And they're like, "Who, you think you're my fucking dad?" And you're like, "No, but I am, like, your cousin and your friend." Like,
and then they bite into a cactus.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, get me off this cactus. It's like, you bit into the cactus.
Like, I know Squilp is going to grow and change as a character, but for this book, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
She's really annoying and combative, which I really like because it leads to my favorite thing in books, which is cats just being mad at each other and causing conflict. Even though the conflict kind of comes for no reason with Squirrelpaw. It's very funny to have a strong personality like that around who just causes shit.
She's definitely entertaining. And the other thing that I like about it is it doesn't feel out of place at all to me, because I'm like, Firestar, Cloudtail, the fiery, annoying blood runs strong in this family. It makes total sense.
It absolutely
the cousin
does.
For sure.
Or the nephew of Cloudtail and the the cousin of Cloudtail
and Squirrelpaw are cousins, yeah.
And the daughter of Firestar would be annoying. That's so true.
I mean, Firestar and Sandstorm have personalities.
Exactly.
Like, they are both characters.
Yeah.
Of course, Squirrelpaw is going to be an annoying little shit that is way too headstrong.
Yeah, I really like Squirrelpaw. I'm a Squilp enjoyer, certified.
I'm a Squilp enjoyer. I am both a Squilp enjoyer and also recognize that if I was one of the cats in this clan, I'd be like, shut the hell up, Squirrelpaw.
There's a moment where, because Dustpelt is her mentor, and they're like out on a patrol, and Dustpelt says like, one of these days you'll learn that there are times to speak and times to be quiet. And Squirrelpaw's like, it seems like it's always time to be quiet. And Dustpelt's like, now you're getting it.
I want to be a Squilp enjoyer, and I'm sure I will as time goes on, but for right now, she just makes my eye twitch. Like, she just reminds me of when I used to babysit kids, and I was like, I really,
I get that.
I don't want to play with slime. I don't want to get you more snacks. Please stop.
I don't want to play with slime.
And I would say that the thing that really saves her in the early chapters for me is at least she's not spoiled. I was really interested to see the relationship between Firestar and his daughters. And Firestar is also kind of mad at Squirrelpaw all the time, and I felt a little bad for her because of that. So like that kind of tempers her personality in my mind. Like, yes, she can be annoying, but Firestar really kind of goes off on her a lot in these early chapters.
Firestar definitely treats her like a leader would treat an apprentice and not like a father would treat a daughter in many
Yes.
ways.
Yeah, until
You know
later
what?
chapters.
That is something we're still exploring, sort of the isolation of Firestar from even his own like daughters, because like even Leafpaw treats him like a leader more than a father. Like very briefly, she lets that down, but she has to treat him with that honor because he is a leader.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how lonely that is.
And like continuing to follow Firestar not from his perspective is such a weird feeling.
Very
because
weird.
he makes some decisions in this book that feel not quite out of character for him, but feel weird. And I'm like, it's weird to see him make these rash decisions without seeing the thought process behind them. Because he did stuff like that in the previous books, I'm sure, and it just felt more natural because we were him. We were in his head. And now we're not. And so now we're seeing the things he does from the outside perspective, which is so strange.
Yeah, I guess we can get to that rash perspective because basically there isn't too much that a lot of the same conflicts span over the first like few chapters of this book. The main things I would say are the fact that Brambleclaw and Squirrelpaw can't get along. That really flows throughout most of the book. And currently the entire forest is going through a pretty bad drought. So there's talks at the gathering at the beginning of the book about Wind Clan using River Clan's river to drink water because all of the pools and streams in Wind Clan's territory have dried up. So they're going through a pretty bad drought. It's causing a little bit of tension, but beyond that, there's not much inter-clan conflict going on in the beginning. And the main reason it seems that Firestar is making like rash decisions is because beyond Bramblepaw's prophetic dream, new prophecy, there's a second prophecy or omen, more like, given to Cinderpelt. Fuck me, man. Cinderpelt, seen by Leafpaw, that states that. Well, it never really states anything.
They see like a bit of bracken bursts into flames, and Cinderpelt sees a tiger in the flame.
Yes. There's some sort of assumption that the mixture of tiger and fire is going to be bad, which they all meaning Cinderpelt and Firestar and Sandstorm. Was she there for that?
Cinderpelt and Firestar and Leafpaw have a discussion, and then Firestar says he has to tell Greystripe and Sandstorm about it after. So sort of the five of them are the ones in the know.
The polycule is still growing strong.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
Those three are inseparable.
and then at one point, Ravenpaw comes to visit territory, and Firestar's like, let's go out on a patrol. I'll grab Greystripe and Sandstorm. I'm like,
Very funny. Very funny. Let's go
I
relieve
have
some
to get
stress.
my wife and my boyfriend.
Yeah.
let's go on a patrol. Oh, that's what they're calling it.
Yeah. But the rash decision what seems like a rash decision is that Firestar's like, I guess this means we have to keep Squirrelpaw, my blood, fire, and Brambleclaw, Tigerclaw's blood away from each other, or it might destroy our clan, because they are fighting all the time. I guess that's a pretty reasonable decision.
Well,
They're assuming that the fighting is
Cinderpelt
bad.
interprets the omen as like those two being involved in a great danger in the forest.
Yes.
And they don't know if they're causing it or helping it, because it's an omen from StarClan. It's incredibly vague.
Literally just a fire and a tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a fire tiger.
Right, but this
Then
is
a cat named Fire Tiger comes and joins the clan, and they're like, oh stupid. Get this guy out of here.
We never consider that it might be a new cat. We always think it's the cats we already have.
Yeah.
So basically that's I'd say that's all the setup for the main thrust, which is that Brambleclaw wants to go to this meeting with the three mysterious cats. And then the clan wants to keep Brambleclaw and Squirrelpaw away from each other. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm raising
Yes,
my hand.
Jaron?
Teacher,
I'm
please
calling on
follow me.
Jaron.
Another thing that happens at the gathering is that Leopard Star announces their two new controversial clan members.
Right.
Hawkfrost and Mothwing, who have recently been made warriors. Their mother was a rogue named Sasha, and she stayed with the clans while she recovered from injury, sickness. I think that giving
like
birth made her weak, and she came to RiverClan to recover, but didn't end up joining them. But her kits, Hawkfrost and Mothwing, did, and Mothwing is being considered as a medicine cat apprentice by Mudfur.
Mudfur?
Mud.
I wanted to say
Mudface.
Barkface, but that Barkface is WindClan medicine cat. I believe
Mudface?
Mudfur is.
Mudclaw.
Mudclaw is the one we
Mudclaw's
hate.
Mudclaw's the WindClan deputy who still sucks in this book. And Mudfur is the RiverClan medicine cat. None of this matters. No,
Mothwing
it does matter.
matters.
Mothwing matters. Half of Leafpaw's plot in this book is just her lesbing out about how beautiful Mothwing is.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
The Yuri is insane.
They're in
We
love
had
with
enough
each other.
Yeah.
yaoi in the last series between Firestar and Greystripe. Now we've got Leafpaw and Mothwing.
I'm so glad I didn't have to bring that up because I was like, there's no way this is not gay as
Every
shit.
other
Like-
sentence, Leafpaw's like, Mothwing is so worried, but she's so beautiful.
But she's gorgeous.
They're always like, Mothwing seems so triumphant, and Leafpaw couldn't help but run over and give her a quick lick on the side of the face to congratulate her.
On the side of her
Please
She's
tell
so
me
in
these
love.
cats get to be lesbians because, like,
I
god
was worried the entire time, or rather, I kept hearing all these super tense, sexually charged descriptions of their interactions, and in my head, I was just like, I'm so sad these cats are never going to get together because if they were lesbian cats, I surely would have heard about it. Like, surely we wouldn't have been so excited about the canonification of Ravenpaw and
Barley.
Barley if there were canon lesbian cats just one book away.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep my hopes up.
This is subtext for me.
Subtext is it's my headcanon. Two medicine cats. They can't have kits anyway, so why not
Yeah.
just
so
like rendezvous on the side?
It's okay.
Those two characters very obviously are being set up as an overarching plot for the rest of this series. Because they're introduced and fleshed out a little bit in this book, and then nothing really happens with them.
Yes.
But they're given such weight and importance, and the rogue Sasha is a mystery to us. We don't know anything about her.
Where she came from, where she went.
Where she came from, where she went, who their father is, we don't really know anything.
Ooh, that could be a whole thing at some point.
That could be a whole thing at some point.
It could also be nothing because it
Could
knows.
which could mean nothing.
It could also be one of those. It could also be one of those things where like, oh, this will be so cool, and then it never.
There are
comes out.
several
Yeah,
cats in this
exactly.
book who look at Hawkfrost and they're like, he reminds me of someone, but I can't place who. Which could mean nothing.
Yeah.
They keep doing that.
Well, listen.
I've never seen eyes like his in the forest though, and I'm like, what does that fucking mean?
Yeah, as
They're
a
just blue.
reader,
But
they're they're described as like ice blue, piercing eyes that look like they're almost looking through you. And I'm like, well, I've never heard about them before, so it's not like this is foreshadowing. It's literally just a mystery. So if none of these cats remember who it looks like, then I'll never know.
They keep doing this thing where they're like, Hawkfrost's like the rest of him, like his pelt and his build, they're like, it reminds me so much of someone, but those blue eyes are just throwing me off.
Maybe because those are his mother's eyes.
The moment that they started describing that, it immediately came back to me who their parents are. But
Oh, so it is important.
it will be.
Damn.
Their
Now we
parents
just have to keep fucking wondering.
And their
are
dad?
a two-leg and a monster.
Ew. Let's move on.
How?
Let's move on.
Gross. Anyways,
Yeah, Brambleclaw at the tail end of the gathering meets up with Tawny Pelt, which is so good to see her.
She's
I'm
in a
glad
better
that they-
mood.
I'm glad that they still have a good relationship because I feel
Yeah.
like I remember them not having a good relationship in these books. But they
It's
seem
true.
well,
they seem
Yeah, I'm like, they
pretty
seem to be
chill.
doing fine.
Like
Yeah.
enemy clans, but they seem like they're chill with each other at the very least. There's no like ideological warfare going on between them specifically.
Ideology, yeah. Yeah, Shadow Clan is the clan of information warfare and tactics, and they're like doing a lot of Cold War all the time. No, but you're right though, because Tawny Paw's leaving ThunderClan in the last book of the first series is like they don't really wrap that up. She's just kind of in a bad mood. She's not friends with Brambleclaw. It's So, it's not a surprise, but it is like good to see. Oh, okay. Well, they are friends still. Like,
Yeah, it's
not,
good to see that their
they're not
relationship is
continually-
still good.
She's doing
Yeah.
all right.
I wonder how that will hold up as we see clans come into conflict in future books. Now that Brambleclaw's one of our focal characters, we'll probably delve into that relationship more than we could in book 6 when we had 500 other cats to worry about.
He seems to understand that she just wanted to be accepted and loved in the clan that she was in, and didn't want to feel judged all the time.
Yeah. Although, if I was her, I would be looking at Brambleclaw's life like, fuck, I made the wrong decision. People love him over
But then
there.
Tawny Pelt sees Squirrel Paw, and she's like, no, actually, I'm cool over here.
Yeah, true. She's like, oh, thank God.
Thank God I don't have to, like, babysit. Jesus Christ. I'm good here.
Yeah. So I found this very funny. I don't know if it's all right to jump around like this, but we get to the new moon, which is when they have been told to come meet.
Brambleclaw finds out that Tawny Pelt had the same dream, and they
At the gathering,
at that
yes.
point they're both like, "Oh, this shit is real. We gotta go meet up."
True. Brambleclaw was considering not telling anybody and maybe just thinking that they ate too much food before bed or something. But then Tawny Pelt having the same dream, they're like, "Oh fuck, maybe this is real." So they both
Yeah,
decide
she had
they
the same
will.
dream, but she was visited by Night Star instead of Blue Star.
And so they're like, okay, so we will go to Four Trees, I guess, at the new moon. That's the place that they're like, well, if cats are going to meet, might as well be Four Trees. So the new moon rolls around. Squirrel Paw, being the annoyance that she is, sneakily follows Brambleclaw out of camp in the middle of the fucking night without Brambleclaw noticing. So she is there at Four Trees also. Tawny Pelt comes out, is like, you fucking brought Squirrel Paw, and Brambleclaw does what Brambleclaw has to do many times in the book and says, I didn't fucking ask her to be here. She's just here.
Hands in the air. I did not bring her.
Yes.
This was not.
My mom said she had to come. My mom said if I go, she has to come with me.
Mom said it was her turn with the prophecy.
I promised to tell her what was going on, and I almost... Oh, no, that's later. I was going to... But... So there's the three of them in this clearing now, and they're waiting for the other people to come. And it's slowly they wait, and then Gray Stripe's two kits from River Clan come down from the other side of the hill into the clearing.
I was so excited.
I was so happy. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Man, you know that your bloodline is special when not only are you the chosen one, but then your kids are the next chosen ones. It's
That's how they do it, baby.
yeah.
That's how you do fantasy.
so
Yeah.
suddenly Tiger Claw's kid, Firestar's kid, and Gray Stripe's two kids are thrust into this group together.
Yeah,
Their names are Feathertail
Feathertail?
and Stormpaw and Pelt. Stormpelt? I don't. Storm.
Hold on.
What's
Storm
another
something, right?
another word for pelt?
Fur. Stormfur.
Yay!
Stormfur. Yay!
Yay!
Everybody listening owes me $1.
It's hard to remember
getting it
these
right.
names when you haven't been looking at them on text.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly remember them by McLeod Andrews' voice they give for them. So
Yes, and my favorite thing.
I mean,
my favorite thing about
that's why I
that
got the wiki pulled
is,
up, baby.
yeah, I should be looking at that.
that Stormfur has inherited Gray Stripe's lisp in
Yep.
the audiobooks.
Slightly
that's so
dopey way of
cute.
talking.
This just the slightly dopey voice, which
Yeah.
is so cute, and I hope that like when Stormfur and Feathertail have kits, that their kits also have the Gray Stripe lisp. I just
Right.
want this to be like the most dominant gene that's ever existed. It just passes through all the men
my
of that
God.
family.
First cat to have a lisp, and it'll never go away.
I can't wait until we get to like the prequels and the super editions, and we meet Gray Stripe's dad, and he has an even stronger lisp.
Exactly, yeah. Because Stormfur's is a little bit less than Gray Stripes, but it's definitely noticeable. It's very fun. And they also do the thing that they apparently love to do. They do it with Squirrel Paw and Leaf Paw, where one of them looks a lot like Firestar and one of them looks more like Sandstorm. And now this brother and sister of Gray Stripes, one looks a lot like Gray Stripe, Stormfur looks a lot like Gray Stripe, and Feathertail looks more like Silverstream did. Very funny.
It's very
to me.
fun.
Apparently, that's the only way that a brother and sister cat can come out, or two cats can come out. And then they're waiting here, and they're talking. Apparently, Feathertail got the prophetic dream also, and then just told Stormfur. So Stormfur was not chosen, just like Squirrel Paw was not chosen.
Yes. Stormfur and Feathertail are stated multiple times throughout the book that they're very close. Closer than most, like, denmates or siblings are. And it's assumed that it's because, you know, their mother is dead and their father's in another clan. So they really only have each other.
Yeah.
So they've developed a very close bond. And when Feathertail has this dream, Stormfur immediately notices something is up. And prods her about it until she spills. And then they're like, Feathertail is so spooked that Stormfur comes with her. And I love them. It makes so much sense that, like, moving into an assembly of cats from every clan, it's, you know, cats that we already have a connection with. Except for the Wind Clan representative, who is maybe my favorite character. I
love this little fucker.
I really like
He's
this
such
guy,
a bastard. We meet him a little bit earlier when Brambleclaw's out on a patrol, and because there's this little bit of conflict where they suspect that one of the clans is stealing prey, and Firestar's like, it must be Shadow Clan up to their old tricks. They've been peaceful for too long, so obviously now they have to be evil, which is a little crazy. But it's
He's
also
a little
Shadow
paranoid.
Clan, so and then Brambleclaw's like, well, Wind Clan got permission to come to the River Clan border, which is right by our border, so who's to say that they may not be tempted to come and take prey while they're there? Which ends up being correct. They run into a patrol of Wind Clan cats led by crowd favorite Mudclaw, who is deputy and stealing prey from other clans. He sucks so bad. Grown-ass deputy grabbing voles from ThunderClan.
He's just a pouty little
son
bitch.
who
Like, he
I
doesn't even
hate.
say anything to defend himself. They catch them. They confront
Literally,
them.
someone in the patrol is like, what are you doing? And Mudclaw's like, we're not stealing prey.
Exactly.
There's no
Luckily,
quicker way for me to think
From
you're
you.
stealing prey.
Everyone's favorite guy, One Whisker, is also in the patrol
Yeah, he's there to mediate.
because he's the only adult in Wind Clan with any sense who's like, yeah, Firestar's my friend. We're gonna not fight. But in this patrol is the apprentice. What's his fucking name? It's
Crowpaw.
Crow. Right. Crowpaw. The
Crowpaw.
apprentice Crowpaw is also in this patrol, and he, without being asked or prompted, tackles Brambleclaw, tries to beat his
Instantly
fucking
starts
ass.
a fight.
Just because they accused him of stealing, and he didn't want his honor defiled by being called a stealer. And then One Whisker's like, "Hey, stop that!" And he like hits him on the back of the head.
It's so funny because Crowpaw goes, they called us thieves, and One Whisker's like, yeah, because we are.
Yeah,
We
was
stole.
he wrong?
And was he wrong?
Yeah, and then so they're not big friends, Brambleclaw and Crowpaw. They get off on the wrong foot, and then while this group of cats is waiting in the clearing for the Wind Clan representative, Crowpaw comes ambling in, and suddenly it's like, oof,
Yep.
oof.
Now it is tense. We are not all friends anymore.
Exactly.
Because Crowpaw and
Yeah.
Squirrelpaw instantly hate each other.
Yep.
Because Crowpaw's like, you're not supposed to be here, you're just an apprentice. And Squirrelpaw's like, so are you.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I was chosen, so I must be better than you. There's Crowpaw does a lot of we were chosen and you two weren't, pointing at Squirp. Squilp?
Squirp!
A squirp.
At Squilp and
Squirp
and
is almost
Stormfur.
the name of a cat that I had growing up, whose name was Squirt. Anyway,
Well,
that doesn't matter.
You know, our temporary co-host that we replaced, Scrimp was also pretty. Was it Scrimp?
Is Scrump. Thank you.
Scrump is still here.
Put some fucking respect on my name.
I'm so sorry, Scrump. I haven't seen your name written down. I've only heard it in this audiobook.
This audiobook.
Yeah, so Crowpaw's very funny. First, my favorite thing about it is I kind of think Crowpaw's kind of a fucked up name, because they know that they call, like, crow food is like a cat swear, and
Yeah, crow food is,
and they know
is
crows
what Shadow
eat
Clan
carrion, which they
eats. Yeah.
So to name your little dude Crowpaw is kind of mean, I feel like. But I don't know, maybe he's
It's
just
also
jet
just
black.
named after a bird.
He's just a black cat. Yeah.
This is true.
Not
Yeah,
any
there's cats
different than
named
naming a
Mousefur,
black
so-
cat Ravenpaw. Crowpaw.
Ravens are cool and
Another black
mysterious.
bird. And crows aren't?
Crows are just kind of like, I don't know. I live in LA. We don't have ravens, but we do have crows, and crows are just kind of like dudes. Crows are just dudes that
They're
eat
just some
trash
guys.
and, and chase the other birds. They're all over the place.
Steal shinies.
Mm-hmm.
They're all able to meet up. They all discuss their dreams. Feathertail was visited by Oakheart. It's rubbing off on me. And Crowpaw was visited by Deadfoot.
Deadfoot.
And they're all like, okay, this shit is real. What do we do? They wait for midnight. Nothing happens. Crowpaw's like, this fucking sucks, and leaves. And the rest of them are like, we'll wait until the next gathering. We won't tell our leaders about the dreams. We'll wait for an extra sign from StarClan, because clearly we're not getting what they want from us. They disperse. And a few nights later, Brambleclaw has a dream where he's drowning in salty water. And he wakes up and he's like, what a nonsense dream. Water's not salty.
He's showing a little bit of Firestar's intuition, but he gets over it fast.
He mainly wakes up like terrified.
Yeah, because he was like drowning and getting like thrown against the shore, and he sees a cliff that opens like a mouth with fangs. And he wakes up, and at the same time, Ravenpaw's visiting, because Ravenpaw has a warning about two-leg activity. That there are more monsters than usual, and there are two legs wearing with bright coats that are walking around. So
I like that detail.
To astute human readers, we're like, there's construction going on. And to the animals living in this forest, that is very bad news.
Yeah, they don't know what it means, but it's bad news.
It's bad news.
Raven?
And Firestar goes, I'm sure it's nothing.
Firestar is like, the two legs are all nonsense, which is counter to what he said about two legs in one of the previous books with the dogs. Where, like, Sandstorm was like, you can't read too much into what the two legs are doing, and Fireheart was like, actually, I think you can. I lived with them. They're more complicated than that. But then in this book, he's been away he's been worrying about cat issues for so long that he's like, two legs? Yeah, they're just full of nonsense. Nothing they do makes sense.
Or we just need some good old character regression for the story.
Yeah. He can't be the perfect leader.
Plot.
Yeah, it wouldn't really harm the story, though, for him to be like, you're right, that is interesting. We'll keep an eye out. Yeah, which I guess he kind of does, but he's also just like, two legs. They're so silly.
And your friend Ravenpaw made this huge journey.
Honestly, though, he's probably just like, my main worry right now is the drought. We'll keep an eye on it, but
that is fair, yeah.
I've got other shit going on.
The drought and the tension between WindClan and RiverClan.
And the fact that my daughter and my favorite redeemed boy can't be near each other. That's still going on.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. But
it hasn't? Fuck.
No, that happens.
The timeline's so hard to remember.
That happens later.
Right, because the Cinderpelt hasn't gotten the dream yet, or the omen yet. She's awake when it happens. But another important thing here is that Brambleclaw gets a moment alone with Ravenpaw and tells him about salty water. And Ravenpaw's like, oh, actually, I've met a lot of loners and rogues that come from like all over. And some of them have told us about this place that you talk about where the sun like sets into water. They call it the Sundrown place, which is an awesome name.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
I love
so
the idea
sick.
of like them thinking that the sun actually is sinking below the water.
Exactly.
It's such a cool romantic depiction of a sunset in the eyes of animals. It's very cool.
So Ravenpaw continuing to be one of the just fucking coolest characters ever is like, yeah, I've heard of the Sundrown place, and gives Brambleclaw some advice to be like, you don't always have to tell your leader everything. Firestar had to go through some times where he had to make decisions for himself too. He's like, I'm sure you'll figure it out, but you might have to take matters into your own hands and do something dangerous. And Brambleclaw's like, okay. Okay. He doesn't really do anything. He's like, okay, old man.
Okay. Well, he immediately after this, he goes to RiverClan. He tells the siblings about it. And the word manages to get to Crowpaw through them, and he goes to Tawny Pelt. And they all, some of them begrudgingly, agree to make the journey to the Sundrown place, because they assume, they don't even really know why they're going, but they assume that this must be what StarClan wants from us, and if it's not, then they'll turn us back in some way.
Yeah.
But we have to try
importantly-
because this is the best. This is the best. This is what we have to go off of.
Yeah. After their first rendezvous at midnight, Brambleclaw promised Squirp, Squilp?
You can just say
Doesn't
whatever.
matter.
We'll know who you're talking
Just whatever.
about.
Promised Squirp that he would tell her everything that he learned or dreamed or whatever, and then he immediately is like, I kind of want to break that promise and not tell her about this. And he tries hard not
Well,
to tell her about this
The
new
agreement
dream.
the agreement is he'll tell her stuff if she keeps her mouth shut.
Right.
Yeah, and
He
then
thinks that she told Firestar
Yeah,
something.
this is
So
where-
he's like, I don't have to keep my end of the bargain.
this is where the plot point of the second prophecy comes in, where Firestar starts being a real hard ass towards both of them to keep them apart, and Brambleclaw's like, I haven't done anything that Firestar should know about to lose his trust. So Squirrelpaw must have spilled the beans. And so
Yeah.
he decides, you know what, I'm not gonna fucking tell her. Because he assumes that she broke her part of the promise.
Leafpaw does use that special connection that she has to know that Squirrelpaw was up to something and get extra information from her that Brambleclaw and her and everybody have been up to something. So Leafpaw's aware that something is going on and is worried.
Yeah, Leafpaw, I don't think knows about the original prophecy. I believe the only people who know about that are those 6 cats and Ravenpaw, who was
Yes.
told about it. But like Firestar, Cinderpelt, Leafpaw, none of them actually know the prophecy. But through Leafpaw,
No.
through their twintuition, their connection, Leafpaw's able to infer a lot of things about what Squirrelpaw and Brambleclaw are up to.
Classic. Good medicine cat behavior.
Leafpaw's great. I do like Leafpaw. My only thing with this book is that, like, the later I got into it, I'd get, like, 2 chapters of, like, the journey, and then I'd be like, oh, we're going back to ThunderClan now, I'm sure. And it's not because
Yeah.
I don't like Leafpaw or what's going on in ThunderClan. I understand we have to check in with these characters now because we have an established cast. And it's good to be able to see the consequences back in the clan of all these cats leaving. I like that about this story, but it also is just kind of like I'm reading through this Leafpaw stuff because I want to get back to the Brambleclaw stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that because I enjoyed seeing her perspective and seeing what was going on in the clan. Like, I get that it's kind of a breakup in the flow of the story and when you're, like, really in it, but I don't know, I kind of enjoyed the break, I guess, from, like, the action-packed, constantly stuff going on,
Yeah.
danger.
I imagine that more stuff is going to start happening in the forest. Like,
Yeah.
the split perspective is going to allow us to see more action instead of less of it soon. But the other thing that was nice about it, which I'm sure we'll get to in more detail, was like, just like finally being able to see the perspective of a leader at the end of the 6th book. In the last series, it's kind of fun to see the perspective of a medicine cat.
Yeah,
In
that
this
is
book, a medicine cat
that
apprentice.
is absolutely true. Because that's really the one major perspective we haven't really seen in this series, outside of, like, a loner or a rogue, which just maybe wouldn't be as interesting because they're not a part of the clans, or like a kit, which wouldn't really be that much different from following an apprentice, I feel.
What I like about
Yeah,
Leafpaw
insufferable.
and Squilp is I love loud sibling, quiet sibling dynamic.
Very fun,
Because
yeah.
Leafpaw is like a very soft, quiet little thing.
Very
That's
thoughtful.
just happy to be there. Yeah.
Very wise for her age. Well, it's more in these early chapters. Leafpaw is more like just there to bounce ideas off of the readers of like what could possibly be going on.
I mean, Leafpaw gives us sort of a perspective into what Firestar's got going on.
I guess that's true.
because
Yeah.
They are a medicine cat, and so they do get to confer with their father on a more serious level.
Mm-hmm.
So we get some of Firestar's rationale through that.
Yeah, the story continues for a little bit of just, like, Brambleclaw and Squirrelpaw at odds and Firestar keeping them apart until they're finally able to reconvene and talk about what's going on. Squirrelpaw hasn't told Firestar anything. She's kept up her end of the deal. So Brambleclaw tells her that they're leaving for the Sundown Place, and he doesn't really want Squirrelpaw to come with, but he's like, I'm not going to be able to fucking stop her, so...
Yeah.
Well, she goes, if you if you don't let me come with you, I'll just follow you, which will be way more dangerous because I'll be by myself.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He's like, Brambleclaw's like, she's either going to follow me anyway, or she's not going to be able to keep the secret. Like, even if she doesn't want to tell, even if she wants to hold up her end of the deal, eventually Firestar's going to be like, we have a warrior missing. And Squirrelpaw's going to be like, I know where he is. I'm so sorry.
But something that I found really interesting is it's not like this prophecy that's telling them to leave the camp and the way that Firestar is treating them because he's worried about the omen that Cinderbelt saw are like unrelated at this. Like his treatment of them is kind of a spur for them to leave. Like they're worried about it, but Brambleclaw's like, if he's going to treat me this bad, I guess I might as well go, right? Instead of telling him, instead of trusting him. And I think that's just such a really interesting point, and I really like the way that it like sets up the rest of Leafpaw's perspective in the forest and like their emotional state on the journey, because they don't even spend their last night in camp. They leave early before the agreed date just to get away from Firestar and his berating. Squirrelpaw and Brambleclaw leave together, and they have this weird night where they sleep under a monster.
Such an awesome cat thing to do. Cats love sitting under cars.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was weird to read about this. I literally thought to myself, they've never really delved too much into spending time near cars that are off. But once they did, it threw me. It threw me from the realism of the book, because I was like, wait a second. Cats fucking love being under cars. Right? Wait a second. What's going on? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense anymore.
I'm pretty sure it's not a car. I'm pretty sure it's construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like unusually large.
Yes, they call all the monsters the same. They think that when they're off, they're sleeping. So they're worried that it might come to life and attack them, but they still sleep under it. They have this rough night.
We get the name Sundrown Place, which is so sick and awesome. And then we have to keep hearing car. And all I can hear in my head is like Victoria Holmes being like, I don't know who fucking made that up. I hate monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who came up with the word monster, but I know that it wasn't me, teehee.
I would be doing the same thing, Vicky. And then they leave from underneath the car the next day to meet at Four Trees, which is the agreed leaving spot for everybody. And Leafpaw catches them there because of her twin tuition, knows that Squirrelpaw is away from camp and leaving, and brings them traveling herbs, which is a really lovely moment. I really liked that. That's a good sibling relationship, and I always love the breaking the rules a little bit. They were talking about how they're like, I wish we had traveling herbs, but we can't just like ask for traveling herbs. And then Leafpaw's like, hold up, I got you. Hold up, let me fix this problem for you.
I like that she's like, I don't know where you're going. I don't want to know, but I want you to be safe, and please remember these like important herbs.
Yeah.
I love you.
It's very sweet.
It gives
It's
him a little
very
kiss
cute
on the
little
head,
song.
a pat and a bagged lunch. He's like, mwah, mwah, be safe.
Don't tell me where you're going. I don't want to know, because then Dad'll want me to tell him. So
Yeah.
don't tell me. Bye-bye.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, did they finally meet up after that? This is kind of like the midpoint of the book exactly.
Yeah. Do we want to take a quick break?
Sure.
Take a quick.
That'd be great. I need to stretch.
They prep
piss and
to
stretch
leave,
and water
and
break.
just like them, we will also prep to leave.
All right. Hey there, kitties. If you're enjoying the episode, please make sure to leave us a comment, a like, or a 5-star rating. Your feedback helps us out a ton, and it also helps more people find our podcast. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
And just like Bramblepaw and his compatriots, we also return.
Bramble who?
Wait, they don't return. Wait,
Bramble who?
Claw? What did I say?
You said paw.
Paw.
Paw and Claw rhyme. Just like Brackenfur.
I saw a TikTok, I think, or a tweet or something that was like, if I was an apprentice and my name had been Paw for 6 moons, and then I got my warrior name and they named me Foot, which is just the same as Paw, I would kill myself in front of the entire clan.
I'll change the trajectory.
And it made me
everybody's
think,
lives
how does
here.
a cat kill themselves? They don't have tools. We don't have to talk about that.
Or
This is just a thought I had.
They don't have Tools. Do you think that they have like power of attorney and like wills and executors of wills and stuff? So like if a cat goes into a coma, does their like daughter get to decide if they're gonna stop giving them the berries to keep them alive?
The berries that keep them alive.
Is this going in the episode?
No, it sucks. It's a terrible thing to think about.
Yeah.
Unlike Brambleclaw and his compatriots, we return from our journey back to the second half of this book, where they're just embarking. So basically, the first half of this book is setting up all those character dynamics, so that this journey they're all about to go on is more interesting. And boy, is it interesting.
Scrump, how you feeling about all this?
You know?
Yeah, Scrump.
I was finishing up my little snack while Mitchell was talking. I won't lie.
It's okay.
I was eating some
I
chocolate.
still got half
okay,
a plate of
Scrump.
scrambled eggs on my bed.
Keep eating and snacking, Scrump, while you remember your classic catchphrase you can give us that describes how you're feeling about this.
So true.
I'm scrumping it.
Perfect. The entire
Yeah.
time I was listening to this book, I was thinking, if I was Scrump, I'd also be scrumping it.
I would be scrumping
Describes
it.
how I feel perfectly.
But yeah, our main cast of character finally actually like set out on the journey. We're halfway through. We're finally leaving. And they do one of my favorite things in the whole world, which is stop at Uncle Ravenpaw's place
Yay!
and like go to Chili's while they bitch about their dads.
So fun.
It's incredible.
Uncle Ravenpaw and his
Brambleclaw's
gay
like,
lover.
dude, my dad sucked so bad, and Ravenpaw's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And Squirrelpaw's like, dude, my dad sucks so bad.
And
he's
they're
like,
all like,
"Yes, I guess, yeah, sometimes.
He did save my life, but like,
I really like his response when they're like, when they tell him that they haven't told Firestar where they're going. He goes, "Oh, it's a shame you couldn't tell him."
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't go, "Oh, I'm gonna go tell your dad." He's like, "Oh, I understand this situation."
He's a trusted elder.
I love the elder gay we have.
Exactly. I can't wait
Who's
for the
just sitting
future
there with-
scene where Leafpaw goes to him for advice about what it means to be gay and how to deal with this.
He's just like sitting there with his little cat martini, just like, "Oh, such a shame."
Yeah.
Swirling it like
Have another
listening to
4
them yap.
mice.
another 4 mice. Where do all these mice
You want
come
another
from?
grilled cheese?
There's so many mice at this barn.
I mean, it's probably from the farm nearby, like, you know, field mice.
Yeah, there's another series of books waiting to be written about these mice and their lives with their families and the absolute terror they face when they come in from the fields every day. The 65% chance they get eaten.
This is our pitch, Erin Hunters, for your next book series that I propose is called Squeakers. It's not about cats or bears or dogs. It's about mice. Hear me out. I am willing to give 500,000 fresh kill towards
And it's
them.
all about mice, and they run and squeak and hide. They get more information about the Sundrown place too, just a little bit. They're like, yeah, it's real. More rogues have told us about it, and I find it really fun that they're like, I guess we just follow the setting sun every day.
Yeah, I really like
Such
that
like
they're
it feels
like,
really natural.
yeah, they're like navigating. They're like, oh, we gotta go to the Sunshine place? Let's just walk towards the sun. Like, oh, yeah. I was like, going into this journey, I was like, how the fuck are they gonna know where to go? And then Brambleclaw said that. I'm like, oh, I'm the stupid one.
Yeah.
How do you follow where the sun's setting? I don't know. Look at it. Go towards it.
I forgot the sun's in the
Jaron
sky.
would not have been a ship captain back in the day.
My ass would not make it as a ship captain. My hungry ass
Yeah.
could never be a ship captain.
Eating the wood.
I'd be taking bites out of the I'd be taking bites out of the steering wheel. I'd be going peg by peg until it's just a round wheel.
Those pegs are dangerous. The
dangerous,
wheel's all
yeah.
you need.
They
You
get them
fall into
stuck
them,
on
they
their
hurt.
leg all the time. Anyway. I don't know how we ended up
They,
talking about pirates, but
They stop up Artie's barn. They leave in the morning. Ravenpaw follows them to Highstones and tells them everything that he knows about the land beyond, and says good luck. And he goes back to the barn, and they're truly alone now, truly setting out into unknown territory. Just like that moment in Lord of the Rings where Sam's like, "This is it, Frodo. If I take one more step, I'll be the farthest I've ever been away from home.
Yeah.
And then there's the meme version where they edit it so that every time he takes a step,
he
he
says
plays
that.
that line.
This truly is the Lord of the Rings of the Warriors books, because they just do a lot of walking and traveling towards some unknown destiny.
I love a good hero's journey.
Yeah.
I love a good wanderer through various fields.
Me too.
It's really great.
For like 3 chapters or so, we get a lot of like peaceful. I don't know about 3 chapters. For a little bit, we just get a little of like
Yeah, they get to see. They see
peaceful,
some sheep.
simple.
They see some
Yeah,
horses.
they see sheep. They
They
discover
see some
horses and
cows.
cows. Yeah.
I really wish they had little cat backpacks.
Yep.
I wish
They have cobwebs
so
full
they can
of
bring some fresh kill with
cobwebs
them.
full of
Yeah.
herbs and fresh kill to carry on their backs.
Yeah, one of them got a bindle over their shoulder in their mouth.
It's definitely Feathertail. Feathertail seems the most sad bug with bindle core to me of this group.
Yeah, for sure.
Sad bug with
My friends in real life have told me that I am sad bug with bindle core, and I live by that.
I really hope all of the audience has that image in their mind as strongly as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always keep that motherfucking thing
Unfortunately,
on me, that thing being a bindle.
Yep.
Because of this book, I have to remove horses from my list of things the Warriors know about that they really shouldn't. Because apparently the Wind Clan cats have seen 2 legs riding horses. So they do know what horse is.
Yeah, they say
know
something
about
really.
horses.
They say something that I find really funny, which is they say horses must be quite stupid if they let 2 legs ride them, and I just think it's really funny that they can't think about the concept of an animal trusting a 2 legs. They're like, if you know horses in real life, horses are actually quite smart, and it takes a lot of trust between a rider to have like a really good to be a really good horse rider. Like you have to get the horse to trust you. And to the cats, they're like, there's no way that would happen, so they must be stupid as hell.
Another thing that they say that I thought was very funny that I wrote down is, I guess even 2 legs want 4 legs sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
And that's true too. To every kid who's ever run around on 4 legs pretending to be an animal. I mean, I did that all the time as a kid.
All of the kids who read Warriors and pretended to be cats on the playground are very vindicated by this book, because they're like, I do want 4 legs.
Yeah,
This goes out to all the people that played wolves at the playground.
exactly. Actually, in general, I think that there's the way the cats talk in this book, and I hope this is like an evolution of the writing. I hope it continues forward. There's a lot of like really good character voices that characters speak in, as in like the ways that they talk. There's a lot of really good turns of phrase. I wrote down some moments like that, but one that we already skipped over that I forgot to mention when actually I wrote it down, so I should just look at it instead of guessing. But when
You spent a good 5 minutes grasping at it.
when Firestar is being really mean to Brambleclaw and Squirrel Paw, and they're confronting each other, the 2 of them, like why is Firestar so mad at us? One thing that Squirrel Paw says at some point is like, Fireheart wants me to take care of the elders for like forever, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude! The Valley Girl accent is infiltrating warriors. I'm so glad.
If it was going to be anybody, it would be
genuinely
Squirrel Paw.
hilarious.
Just like a bratty middle schooler.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love that I think that they've said a few times throughout these books, but that didn't really jump out at me until when Ravenpaw and Brambleclaw are talking. Ravenpaw greets him and says, "Hello, Brambleclaw. How's the prey running?" And I just think that's really... It's like seeing someone fishing and being like, "Are they biting?"
Yep. Yeah.
It's kind of like, how's the weather?
Yeah, how's the weather? How's the prey running?
Hey, how's it going?
How's the prey running? Oh,
very
you know,
Also,
they are.
fuck, we forgot to bring up Longtail.
Longtail! Oh, yeah. I
I
was...
forgot to bring him up earlier.
I was sad about him. Longtail, and I believe Frostfur is also a warrior from the previous books who's joined the Elder's Den.
Yep. There are some new elders amongst all the other cats that we discussed as having new places.
Longtail is still young, but his eyesight is failing him, so he's had to join the Elder's Den, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was so surprised.
also, I believe we had an off-screen death. Willowpelt?
Yes, Willowpelt just died.
Willowpelt got torn
Willowpelt-
apart by a badger in between books.
Wait, that's fucking crazy.
Because
Yeah.
they see a badger on their territory at the beginning of the book, which they reference a few times, and is sort of just foreshadowing for the end of the book.
Yep.
Putting the idea of badgers into our head. but they're like, this must be the same badger that killed Willowpelt. And I'm like, hold on. What? I get it. The passage of time is a bitch and cats die. They love killing cats. We've established this. But it's so weird to have
the passage of time heals all wounds and kills all cats.
Willowpelt wasn't like a hugely important character in the previous books, but it definitely is like a named character that we knew about that is just like, dead, gone.
Erin Hunter had to roll a die.
What brutal way can we
Torn
kill
to
a
shreds
cat?
by badger. Rest in peace. We can only assume that it was to shreds, because there's no other way a cat could die in this book.
There's no other way a cat could get torn. maybe to chunks if they're lucky.
Maybe to chunk.
Mayhaps to chunks.
Those are. We forgot to mention those when we were talking about like some of the cast changes. But yeah, we've got a few new elders. We have another dead cat. What's going on?
I was just stretching. That was for me. That wasn't for the audience.
You can get this out. It looked kind of like you were bobbing your head like a chicken.
They'd have never
And
seen a
what if they
chicken.
were?
Holy shit! If they came across chickens, they'd lose their minds. They'd be like the dumbest
my
birds in
God.
the world
They'd
that
eat for
taste
days.
delicious.
Imagine a cat dragging a chicken back to the fresh kill pile.
They 100% would.
Imagine a cat seeing an ostrich.
I think that we've joked about this on a previous episode.
Oh,
Just being
fuck.
like, holy shit, this is Feed the Clan for moons.
We've got like three
three
jokes
jokes.
here.
One for each co-host.
So back to the
Jumping back into it.
current journey that we're on.
Where were we? Oh yeah, they have to cross a thunder path, and the thunder path is lined by a hedge. So not only do they have to jump over this scary road with monsters running by, they also don't know what's on the other side of that hedge. So it's like a doubly scary thunder path crossing. This is like Warriors power creep. It's like
Exactly.
crossing the thunder path isn't scary enough anymore. We gotta put like visual impairments on the other side.
This book is full of power creep. Bigger monsters,
Yeah, shinier two
scarier
legs.
thunder paths.
Feels like we're jumping the shark a little bit, knowing how many books we have left.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm wondering what the next series could possibly be about when this one. I mean, I joked about it in the first series. I was like, I think book 6 of this series is going to be about them taking down the two legs. And now this one's actually about two legs encroaching on their territory. And so two legs are the villain. So I don't know what the next villain's going to be.
A tank.
God, the universe,
The next villain is Evil Star Clan.
evil Star Clan. Yeah, they
The next villains are actually
they don't really
Death
have-
Clan and Evil Clan and Bone Clan.
Black Hole Clan.
Yeah, something scarier than blood. Oh, come on, think. What's scarier than blood?
Oh, Bone Clan.
They don't really have a choice, but they just kind of like run across this thunder path, all scared, and then they burst through this hedge. They lose each other in the hedge, and then all chaos and hell breaks loose on the other side. They find themselves inside of two-leg gardens or yards, as they call them, and there's a two-leg kit, a little baby, fucking rushing towards them. Brambleclaw gets separated with Feathertail?
Feathertail.
Yeah, and then they manage to find the other cats that are being attacked by kitty pets, which is so funny.
Yeah. Two large kitty
pets
are defending their territory, backing the other three up into, or it's Stormfur and Crowpaw specifically,
Crowpaw.
because Squirrelpaw is not around, and they're like backing them into the two-leg nest basically. Like, they can either fight or run into the two-leg nest, and Squirrelpaw jumps in to save the day and distract them, and Brambleclaw does something that they do a lot in this section of the book, where they're like, Squirrelpaw, stop that! Don't be so stupid! And Squirrelpaw's like, never, no, I'm gonna be stupid.
And
and jumps
Squirrelpaw
into
was
the
like, it
action.
worked, didn't it? And they're like, God
Yeah.
damn it, I can't argue with that. Just don't do it again. It's one of those things where, like, there's a kid who does something stupid, and you're like, hey, why are you doing that? And then they give you, like, a perfectly reasonable explanation, and you're like, okay, well, don't do it again.
Exactly. Yeah. This chaos, this section of the book, I want to hear what you guys think about this. I didn't care a lot about all of this stuff. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was my maybe I was being naive, although I was vindicated in the end. But I was just kind of assuming that nothing bad was going to happen during these sections.
Yeah.
I was like, this initial conflict where they run across the thunder path and then get like trapped by kitty pets and like nothing really happens. A few sections after this, I was just kind of under the impression that these were all just like, template trials and tribulations on their journey. I felt like it was just too early for anything serious to happen, so I wasn't. It felt mostly like obstacles for the sake of obstacles.
Yeah, I find
Well, to me,
I find this journey interesting, but like not particularly exciting for the most part. There's a bit where they find the horses and they're like Brambleclaw's like scared of the horses because he sees that they have like feet like stone, and he's like, if that thing came down on us, it would kill us instantly. But Crowpaw's like, they don't care, and they just run past the horses.
Exactly.
There's a few scenes like
Things
that.
like that happen a lot.
Yeah.
to me, I know it's not the most exciting, and it's very kind of filler, but I think it's important for their closeness as a group.
That's true.
Like, I think that's the main reason we're going through this.
It's all for
is so that
character
they
development.
Yeah,
become
it fleshes
closer
them out more as a
and
group.
go through more stuff together.
And it does a little bit to sort of establish more of the setting of like kind of the area they're in, where it's like a bit of a more rural area they pass through, and then they get to like sort of a more urbanized. They end up in like a massive two-leg place.
Yeah.
Like just some huge neighborhood.
Yeah.
They go through fields, then two-leg place, then more fields where they see cut wheat or something, and a huge monster off in the distance, a farm equipment monster. And they're
Like a
"Hmm,
tractor or a harvester
spiky."
or something.
So they're experiencing a lot of stuff that's new to these cats that it is very fun.
It's fun
very
to explore
inconsequential,
these
but
mundane
it's very
things through
fun.
the eyes of cats. That's something
Yeah,
that I
to be
do
like,
enjoy.
I know
about
what
this
that
book.
is because I'm a human. Yeah, I think that even though the events themselves didn't catch my eyes very much, because I was like, okay, more trouble. They're gonna get through this. I was still very interested in the character development, because the important thing that goes on is over the course of like this like third out of this back half of the book before the ending, Squirrelpaw and Brambleclaw get closer. They start to trust each other more. Crowpaw proves himself to be more reliable than Brambleclaw thought he was. Feathertail and Stormfur both show that they're very caring. Feathertail shows that she is more willing to be caring for Crowpaw than everybody else is.
Yeah, there's definitely something budding between those two.
I think that they're
Well, because-
it seems like they're doing 6 friends set off an adventure, three male, 3 female cats. Got to make 3 heterosexual couples out of them is what it seems like is going on.
Because, like, to me, I don't know why I keep saying to me, but Feathertail seems very, like, empathetic
Yes.
with Crowpaw, because she's like, hey, we all knew each other. He's just having to join us.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
he's
get into this group.
he's clearly got a chip on his shoulder too, because he was the only apprentice chosen. So he feels like he has to do
And
a
he was
little bit
also,
more
like-
to prove himself.
He left right when he was about to become a warrior, and so he's a big.
They also
grumpy
say that
grouchy
he's
about
like
that.
kind of small for an apprentice too. Because like an apprentice who's about to become a warrior should be about the size of a warrior, but he's like they say they talk a lot about how small he is, so he's got a lot to prove.
Yeah, he's a scrawny little feisty cat. He's a great character. If anybody listening has read the Red Rising series, he reminds me of Severo, who's like a great character. But that probably doesn't mean anything to either of you.
Nah,
It's okay. Keep an eye out.
unfortunate.
I love a scrawny little guy like that who's like got lots of gusto and very, very capable when it comes down to it. And like has a little bit too much of a temper and difficulty dealing with other people, but to his friends is very reliable. Which is where they end up in the end. That's my favorite character. Crowpaw is in the lead right now to become a favorite in the next few books. I'm excited to see how he continues to develop. But
I mean,
one of the
Crowpaw
major
and
like
Squirrelpaw
plot things
are my 2 favorites, just because they have the strongest personalities out of this
Yeah,
group.
I love-
they're
I
always
love
entertaining.
This group, the group itself, just really great. They make the journey interesting, even though the
There's
events
a really strong balance of personality where Brambleclaw, Tawny Pelt, and Stormfur are all like much more level-headed. Tawny Pelt's a little bit more abrasive, but still very much caring and level-headed. Feathertail is a little bit more timid, but like very empathetic, very caring, very much like, come on guys, let's all just get along. We're all in this together. And then Crowpaw and Squirrelpaw are very much like, Squirrelpaw's just annoying because that's who she is. And she probably also has a lot to prove as like someone who's coming on this journey who wasn't chosen. And Crowpaw has a lot to prove as the only apprentice and the only one who didn't really know the other cats previously, who was already on bad terms with them from his initial meeting with Brambleclaw. It's a really great group. I really enjoy this cat.
Squilp also has a lot to prove as Firestar's daughter.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
They don't really call attention to that much in this book, do they?
She doesn't really bring it up. She brings it up like earlier in the book as they're leaving and stuff. But they don't really bring it up.
I'm
on
sure
the
they'll
adventure.
explore it more.
I'm sure they will. Yeah. I think that at some point they talk about hearing stories of Firestar's.
I love that
life growing up, like knowing all these things, but not realizing like how true they actually were.
That's
like they hear stories about the danger, and then they're like, now that we're on our own adventure, like we get it.
One of the smaller things in this book that I did really love is at one point when like Squirrelpaw and Brambleclaw are taking care of the elders, they start telling a story about Fireheart and Greystripe feeding RiverClan, and I'm like, it's so fun that our previous books are becoming like the stories that get told to the kids in the clan. That's just very, very
really
cute.
And they're all excited to listen to them. Yeah. I'd say that the other important plot points from this journey section, well, the true like plot point is Brambleclaw has gotten this vision of the salty water, but nobody else has. And as they journey, more of these chosen prophecy cats are getting salt water visions, they're calling them.
Yeah.
The first one comes when Tawny Pelt goes to drink from a puddle that Squirrelpaw found, and Tawny Pelt's like, that was a cruel trick. That was like a salty pool. It was gross. And then Stormfur's like, what? And he goes and drinks. He's like, no, it's fine. And Tawny Pelt's like, bum bum bum, like everybody's like, whoa, a saltwater vision. So they use the fact that these saltwater visions keep coming to them in turn to convince themselves that they're on the right track. So that's
kind of an assumption that
StarClan
StarClan is sending those signs to be like, you're on the way, keep going.
Which is like, we talk about these vague prophecies, but God, if tasting salty water isn't literally the least information they could be possibly giving them. Like I don't care how much of a riddle and how vague the prophecies from like, Leaf Pool were in the
Spotted Leaf.
No. Spotted Leaf were in the past books. This book, they're leaving these 6 cats' lives up to like, keep walking for a few days, and after a few days, hope one of you tastes some salt water. It's like, it's really,
I don't know. I'm like, how long do they go without tasting salt water before they're like, actually,
fuck,
what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would be thinking.
Where are we?
If I was one of them, I'd be so nervous every day. I'm like, will we get another saltwater vision today? But along this, I think partially because Brambleclaw was the first to get this vision and the reason they started out on this journey, Brambleclaw goes through another process that I really love, another trope, which is like becoming the leader by accident. It's kind of what happened to Firestar, but maybe less so because they were like, it was very like formal. They became deputy and all these things. But this is like a group of friends, and Brambleclaw is just kind of slowly over the course of this emerging as the leader. There's a lot of moments where they're like, Brambleclaw realized everybody was waiting for him to make a decision. And he's like, I guess, yeah, we'll go now or whatever. I love stuff like that because now it makes me excited to see how Brambleclaw takes this. And it's just so nice to see the natural trust.
This leads into Brambleclaw making a potentially poor decision, as while escaping from a dog, they run up a tree and they're greeted by a loner cat, a former kitty pet, who is known by many names. This freaky old cat who finally says that one of his names was Purdy. So
this is my favorite part of the
Fucking
entire book,
Purdy.
and I cannot believe you would say it's a poor decision. I love Purdy
Brambleclaw's
so
decision
much.
to follow Purdy is potentially a poor one, is what I'm saying. Like, to have Purdy join them on this journey.
I think Brambleclaw is an unreliable narrator, and all the times that he says, it seems like Purdy didn't actually know where he was going, he's just assuming justice for Purdy. I think Purdy knew exactly where he was going the whole fucking time. That's my take on this.
That is up to the reader's interpretation, which is why I say potentially bad. I love Purdy.
I love Purdy.
Is so funny.
I love a fat old geriatric cat that's just kind of bumbling about.
Yeah, he's there. It's my favorite part of the book because he's a very fun character, and at the same time, is like such a distillation of all that stuff you were talking about, liking Jaron, of new things to the cats. He expounds so much information to the cats about like what life is like in these living in these ways that they had no idea existed outside of the clans, where he's like he calls them upwalkers. He doesn't call them two legs.
I remember that as a kid. The upwalkers.
He calls them upwalkers.
Oh, what's
he doesn't
upwalker?
understand he doesn't understand what a kitty pet is or clans. He doesn't understand why they're so scared of Thunderpaths or of Two Legs like kidnapping them, because he eats from Two Legs and isn't owned by any of them all the time. It's unclear if he's been neutered or whatever. It seems like probably not, because they describe it's such a big thing in the first books that cats who do get taken to the cutter are like not very active afterward.
Mm-hmm.
But so it seems like he's not ever been like taken to the vet, but it's just such an interesting perspective. And I'm a little biased in this because I listened to the audiobook, but McLeod Andrews gives him like kind of a slight southern accent almost.
I didn't get that far in the audiobook. I only listened to the first part because I read that several weeks ago just to remind myself of everything that happened. But I can imagine it. I need to hear it.
I did picture him with a southern
I did
accent,
as well.
just
I
his
think
dialect.
everybody
He just talks
probably
like
did.
slow with a tiny bit of a lilt, and it's so fun. I love the idea that cats have accents based on where they're from. It's so fun. So Purdy,
It's also funny to picture a cat from the American South in England somewhere.
exactly.
He's got like
The
a
cats don't
Cockney
have English
accent.
accents in the audiobooks, but they do have these different sounds, and it's very fun. So Purdy's hilarious. Purdy's great. But he's also a terrible guide, which is why Jaron says that he might have been a bad decision to follow him. He offers to help them a lot because he thinks that their story and their journey is interesting. And, at first it goes well. He takes them to a place where they can find plenty of mice. And they
go fishing in like a koi pond or something like that.
that's
like
true.
Yeah, and they're surprised by goldfish.
Some two-leg or upwalker living in this two-leg place has a goldfish pond in their backyard, and this is a cute little bonding scene for the group where Feathertail teaches Crowpaw how to fish. Feathertail and Stormfur.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're like, I've never seen a fish made of gold before. This is crazy.
Yeah.
How do they know what gold is? Quick question.
There's a cat named Goldenflower, so they know the
suppose that's
color
true.
at the very least, and maybe they've
Yeah,
just
they
never
might not
seen
know
it.
what the metal is, but
They've never seen a fish of
Oh,
that
have they
color.
not? You haven't caught all the details of all the cats having like ear piercings and stuff made of like fine metals and jewels.
They got sick chains.
exactly. They're all iced out.
No, I missed that.
No, yeah, it's really hidden in the subtext. It's written in pen in the margins of my books, so maybe it's not in yours.
The book that I got at Goodwill.
You don't have a book.
Oh yeah, no, I mean yeah, it's been through all the books. The other thing that's interesting about this to me that I thought was very funny is the two-leg that lives in this house that has this pond comes out eventually and chases them away from their pond after eating a few of their fish. And I like to think, like, how long would it take observing the two legs, being near this pond, eating its fish, living in the area that Purdy lives, like whatever it takes, I don't know, for them to figure out that to the two legs, like a fish could also be a pet, not just a kitty pet. And in my head, I like to think that would change their view on fish. Like, do you think that they'd be so ready to eat the fish out of this pond if they knew that the two leg loved the fish? Because like,
I don't think they give a fuck
Like,
what
imagine-
the two-leg thinks.
I don't know, because they I think that the cats, it's kind of seems that the cats have some sort of sense that the two legs like their kitty pets. Like they care for their kitty pets. They enjoy having them around. I think that they seem like they understand.
Yeah, there's like a bit in a couple of the first series books where Firestar is like, I hope my two legs didn't worry too much for me after I left.
Exactly. And Purdy also talks about like missing the good old days when they used to sit before the fireplace getting scratched before they ran away, because they were the two leg that owned them, that called them Purdy, died. And when
That's right.
new two legs came to take him away, he ran away instead. And he's lived like this ever since. So he remembers those good old days. So I'm imagining just an old man in front of a fire scratching his old cat. So I think that a lot of the cats seem to understand that two legs can I don't know if they probably wouldn't say love, but two legs can like them.
They enjoy the kitties.
And personally, if I was one of these 6 cats on this journey and I was like, wait a second, this two leg put these goldfish here because he likes them, and I just fucking killed them, I might have an existential crisis, is all I'm saying. I might be like, do all fish deserve to live? Like, do I need to be a vegan cat now? I think it would fuck me up.
People keep pet chickens and cows and stuff in real life, and a lot of people still eat them things.
Right, but
Like-
fish being kept as pets, it's like if suddenly you realized that there was like a being bigger than us that kept cows as pets and us as pets. I'd be like, I'm the same as a cow? I mean, I guess I am the same as a cow. I'm an animal. I just backed my way into real vegan philosophy. Wow, I'm so stupid. Listeners, I'm making a change. Anyway, that's all I was thinking about this whole koi fish spawn scene.
I wasn't thinking any of that. I was thinking about how small those fish are and how little they would have to eat.
I was thinking just about how funny it is that they're just ravaging some poor guy's pond.
That is also
Like,
funny.
My fucking fish.
One thing I was thinking about, I think it was when they with the 2 kitty pets and their two leg, is that they refer to it as like a female two leg, so they can identify gender in humans, which is an interesting
yeah,
thing.
that's...
Yeah, and they only believe in 2 genders.
Because like the way that you identify visually gender in a human is not the way cats would think about it.
I don't know I imagine the cats probably just use like some sort of scent marker or pheromone or something to tell like when who's approaching them. I guess
Maybe?
I don't know.
I
They're
don't know.
cats. Maybe they can tell visually, but
I mean, because like there's stories out there where like trans people interact with animals that it's like, oh, he doesn't like men, and then it's like a gender affirming.
I have
cat or
read about
whatever.
that.
So
yeah. I mean, I think I've had experiences with animals where I'm pretty sure they don't like I can tell they don't like mustaches or something like that. Like I've had pretty confident experiences where I'm like, oh, this dog doesn't like me because I have a mustache. So maybe it's just when a two leg has a mustache, they're like male two leg. When a two leg doesn't have a mustache, they're like female two leg. That might be wrong. Who knows?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
So it is decided.
maybe they're just assigning words at random because whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe because the two leg had a child
It's true.
and they're like, oh,
Or maybe the two leg had huge
Anyway.
yeah, buddy.
feet.
Anyway.
Big feet.
Anyway.
Anyway,
They go on this journey through this neighborhood, this big two-leg place. And at one point they stop at another two-leg place to try some kitty pet food, which, as expected, goes pretty horribly for the clan cats. Because a two-leg kit comes out and picks Feathertail up, and everyone's freaking the fuck out about it. And Feathertail is like,
Awesome.
I could have easily gotten away. I just didn't want to scratch up that poor little baby two-leg. Which is so sweet.
So kind and compassionate. It's a really sweet moment.
And then, as the sun sets that day, they realize that it's setting behind them. And they are pissed off.
yeah.
Purdy's like, I know what I'm doing. I promise. Sometimes you gotta go in a snake-like pattern to get out of these two-leg places.
Yeah. Well, they also reference a lot of just, like, walking along the roads and sidewalks and how much the clan cats aren't accustomed to that.
Yeah.
It, like, wears on their paws, whereas Purdy's just, like, skipping along, not a care in the world.
Yeah. This continues for, like, what seems like a few days. They're getting hungrier, they're getting tired, they're getting more and more frustrated with Purdy. Especially Crowpaw starts to like really let his temper go with Purdy, and lets him know that he thinks he's an old coot who doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
At one point, they get attacked by a ton of rats, like so many rats that they say they're like flowing like a river, and like that's
Look,
so
one
many
parallel.
rats.
The rats are back.
The rats are back. Welcome back, rats.
Rats never went anywhere, baby. Rats are always there.
The rats are always there. Tawny Pelt gets bit by a rat and it gets infected.
Pretty bad in the shoulder.
Sort of brings us back to Leafpaw and her connection with Squirrelpaw. During this time that this journey has been happening, concurrently, Leafpaw has gone with the other medicine cats to the Mothermouth, to the Moonstone. And
yep, we get to see that perspective, which is really interesting.
We get to check in with Mothwing that Mudfur ended up getting the sign that he was waiting for from StarClan that Mothwing was the correct cat to choose as his apprentice. So Mothwing gets to make the journey with them.
Literally, a moth's
Mudfur
wing
literally
was
walks
sitting on
out
the
of
ground
his den
outside of his...
and sees a moth's wing on the ground, which is really funny.
Which is funny to me because I'm imagining whichever Erin Hunter wrote this being like, okay, so I got to name the cat something that can also be an omen. It's like, what's on the ground?
Unlike
a
Hawk
mothwing,
Frost,
I guess.
which means nothing.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you see a frozen hawk on the ground.
A bird and a temperature.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if they were like
my den.
They were shopping names around until they found one that could be both like a warrior name and an omen.
Yeah, it could have.
Like,
it could have been like.
That can't be that.
Like hawk feather, and they see a hawk feather on the ground.
Yeah,
it could be anything.
But
so they get to go on this journey. We get to see from the medicine cat's perspective, visiting the Moonstone and sharing visions with StarClan. Leafpaw ends up getting to see a vision of Squilp and the others on their journey, so she knows that they're safe. Which she eventually tells a little bit to Firestar because all the clans are super worried because they have cats that have gone missing. I think they find out from River Clan, maybe, that like Stormfur and Feathertail were gone and that they were searching for them, and they assume that they must have gone off to ThunderClan, and then ThunderClan's like, no, our cats are also missing, so we must assume they've gone off together. They're starting to piece things together because, you know, obviously there are consequences to a bunch of cats leaving, which is, in the previous series, I wouldn't have cared as much about, because it's like, we have our focal character and everything that happens around him isn't as well established until later on. But with this book, I think it's really great because we have an established cast. We have Firestar, Greystripe, Sandstorm, Cinderpelt, Cloudtail, all them back in ThunderClan camp, and we wonder, like, how are they taking the news that these two cats just disappeared without a trace, without a word? And for Firestar, it's not very well. He's pretty... No. He's beaten himself up pretty hard. He thinks that they left because he was being mean to them.
He's skulking in his den with Greypaw, like, comforting him. He's doing a lot of worrying as a dad instead of as a leader.
Although
he's worried as both.
Yeah, and as like a former mentor, like his former apprentice has disappeared. But Leafpaw gets to see this vision. They're not allowed to share about what their visions have been about because it's sort of the medicine cat secret. Mothwing starts trying and then gets hushed up. Says something about seeing...
They're not allowed to discuss it until they figured out what it means.
It's really funny because it seems like they never really figure out what it means. So in past books, they're always like, I think it might mean this.
And then the time passes and they're like, oh,
yeah,
that was...
Mudfur...
Oh, there we go.
Mudfur presents Mothwing to StarClan, and via sharing visions with StarClan, Mothwing gets the confirmation that she's been accepted. So... we now have precedent that former rogue cats can become medicine cats. We have a kitty pet as leader. We have a former rogue as medicine cat.
And all this time, her and Leafpaw are still lesing out every chance they get.
Yeah. Mothwing is being pretty like stoic and stone-faced because she's worried that StarClan's not gonna like her. And Leafpaw's like,
she's worried, but she's...
no, haha, don't worry, you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
You're gorgeous.
She's worried, but she's definitely
anxious?
She's definitely graciously accepting the shoulder to cry on that Leafpaw is presenting.
Yeah, but she's very clearly like pretty stressed out about it. We get to check in with some of the tensions between the other clans. We get to check in with how like Mistyfoot is feeling about the River Clan cats disappearing. And yeah, Leafpaw gets to report to Firestar that Squirrelpaw's still alive. But during the time when they're attacked by rats, Leafpaw can sense this, can feel this, and asks Cinderpelt about what to use for rat bites. And Cinderpelt's like, rat bites? Why? Did you get bit by a rat? Leafpaw's like, no. Cinderpelt's like, someone else.
Cinderpelt does something so funny where she looks out of her den left and right, is like, I'll see you find it.
It's really good.
Nope, no rats here.
Cinderpelt's like, did you get bit by a rat? No. Did someone else get bit by a rat? No. Why do you need this?
They kind of imply Cinderpelt kind of gets it.
Yeah.
There's like a moment where Cinderpelt's like has a twinkle in her eye.
Cinderpelt's like,
okay.
Leafpaw's not asking about this for no reason.
So Leafpaw decides that she's gonna try and reverse engineer the twintuition that she feels more strongly than Squirrelpaw by going to find the herb that they use for rat bites. What is it called again?
Burdock.
It's called like
Burdock
root. So she's like, I'll go find some burdock root. I'll chew it the fuck up.
Yeah, she like
and
goes to
there's
sleep chewing on the burdock root.
And she's
also
repeating
just
to
sitting there
herself.
thinking,
It's super funny. And after all that work, the next day, so they're all haggard on this journey. We go back to their perspective. Everything rough is going on, and after all that work that Leafpaw went through, Squirrelpaw's dumbass wakes up and is like, my mouth tastes bad. What the fuck is this taste?
And she's like licking her lips
mouth
all
tastes
day,
yucky.
like, what is this?
And Brambleclaw tries to talk to her, and she's like, shut up, give me 1 second. I'll
He's
think
like
of this
trying
taste.
to joke around with her, and she's just like, I don't know, man. I can't get this taste out of my mouth.
Let me think about this taste.
Yucky.
Yeah.
It's bitter.
So she doesn't even get it right away. They travel longer and longer. Purdy is still leading them through the wrong places. They come to a huge wall.
At this point,
Oh, go ahead.
both Crowpaw and Feathertail get really aggressive with Purdy. Are really aggressive.
Yeah, because everybody's getting worried. Everybody they're in this position that they talk about where they're like, oh, fuck. Even if it was a bad decision to follow Purdy, we're kind of stuck now.
We're kind of stuck with him because we
don't
also don't know
go.
how to get out of this two-leg place.
Yeah.
We don't know where to hunt in this two-leg place.
Yeah, they can't retrace their steps very well. So they're stuck with Purdy. And it all comes to a head.
I find it very interesting when Feathertail gets so aggressive with him, because this is like a complete 180 flip from how she normally is, where she's very like conflict averse. She's very much like very kind.
I think she's
but at this point she's like, okay, enough is fucking enough, Purdy.
Yeah.
her friend has an infected rat bite that's getting worse and worse by the day. She is so worried about Tawny Pelt that she's just like mad about how they got in this situation.
Yeah, and she's also
Like,
I think
I don't
standing
think
up for Crowpaw too.
Yeah, I don't think it's a 180. I think it's a progression.
Oh,
of
it
her character.
absolutely is.
Like,
I'm not trying to say that it's like out of character. I just think it's like it's an interesting dive into maybe more of her thought process, her psychology.
It sells the tension because
Yeah.
of all the characters to get so heated.
Exactly.
You expect her
Yeah.
last. It comes to a head when Purdy's been like, okay, now this is definitely the way, and then they walk down this street for a long time, and at the end of the street, I couldn't understand. I replayed this moment. Maybe if I had the book in front of me, I would have gotten it. But they come to like a huge tall wall. They keep talking about bricks being around them, like these dull red stones everywhere. So I'm imagining that they're walking by like brick walls and everything. And they come to a street that ends in a dead end at a tall brick wall that they can't jump over, which I don't understand why that would be in a neighborhood, but I guess that's what they find. So they're like, fuck, this is a dead end. We've traveled all day. Tawny Paw is hurt. Purdy, what the fuck? And Purdy's like, you don't got to be so mean about this. And they squabble for a little amongst themselves. And Brambleclaw is like, oh, fuck, Purdy's gone. Purdy left. This is really bad. It gets...
that's not.
Isn't that when this happened? Because then he pokes his head back over the fence. Or through a hole in the wall, rather.
He goes, there's like a hole in the wall and he goes through and he's like, y'all coming?
Exactly. So Brambleclaw thinks he's gone for a second. And it sells this emotional moment very well, but it does resolve itself instantly when Purdy's like, there's a hole in the wall over here, and Brambleclaw's like, I never would have noticed that hole in the wall. And I thought to myself, okay, well, Should have looked harder, I guess. That doesn't really track with your character. But okay,
Doesn't
I
really
guess
sell
knows
Purdy's
about the
importance
hole.
here. That he's the only one who
No, it
saw the
doesn't.
hole in the wall that's just there.
Yeah, so they go through.
They just constantly describe Purdy as surprised he also found the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Brambleclaw says he's not convinced Purdy knew that the hole was there. But so they finally get through it and they're like, oh yes, forest, trees. They're finally out and they get to a place where they can feel the cool touch of things growing under their paws again.
They can hunt.
and,
They can finally get a good meal.
Yeah, and after this long day of traveling, finally Squirp is like, oh, I smell something nearby that smells like the taste I had. And she goes running off to find, and she's like, it was burdock root. So Leafpaw's beaming paid off.
Yeah, and this is the moment where it seems like Squilp doesn't know as well what's going on as Leafpaw does, because she's like, burdock root, this is what Tawny Pelt needs for her rat bite. And Brambleclaw's like, how the fuck did you know that? And Squirrelpaw's like, I don't remember. Maybe it's one of the things Leafpaw told us about before we left. And Brambleclaw's like, I don't remember anything about burdock, but...
Yeah.
And they use it. Tawny Pelt's feeling better a little bit after some burdock treatment. Everybody else does some hunting, and Purdy is like, the Sundrown place is further in this direction, but I think that I have to leave you for now. Like, this is your journey to take. He does a thing that I really like though, and he's like, I'll wait here for a few days in case you come back this way and you need another guide. I love when it's like they're not getting along great, but like it shows that there is still a little bit of a friendship here and a little bit of trust. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next book, but I do hope they find Purdy again, because Purdy's very funny in my mind.
I want
They may not like him, but he doesn't want them to die.
Exactly.
I want some Purdy vindication. I want us to find out that Purdy's actually like secretly super wise and was just like testing them or something.
Yeah.
I think it's funnier if he's a bumbling
It
old
is.
man,
It's funny
if I'm
both
being
ways,
frank.
but I think it's like it would be very funny if they find out that he's actually super super smart and important, and they're like, oh, it all makes sense.
What's funny is that
now.
like
We had to
he
get
kinda
bit
is
by the
wise.
rat to fill the prophecy.
Exactly. I mean, like the rat bites and everything suck, but my favorite thing about his character is like he's a bumbling idiot to them because what they want is very specific, like a way to get through the two-leg place, following the setting sun. And Purdy's like, okay, I'll try. And they don't really like take any time to acknowledge that like his way of life is completely different than theirs. Like he is wise in a lot of ways that they aren't wise. It's just not very important ways to them. Like he knows how to live among the two legs more successfully than they do. So he seems dumb to them, but to him, they seem kind of like rash and strange, which I think is just such a great dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're so hasty and rash and weird. And he's like, I'm just an old man and you are some kids on a quest, so good luck.
Yeah, I do like Purdy, and I'm excited to see the role that he fills in future books.
I like that they didn't go like wise old man mentor with his character.
Yeah.
Because like that trope can get a little exhausting of, you know, people on quests running into the exact guy
That
they
is
need.
true. It is very
Like,
funny to be on a quest and run into the exact guy you don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a party.
He'll
like,
kind of get you through it.
adding a member to your party who's like actually just a detriment. But he's fun to have. You know, I'm like, replaying the game, I'd go and recruit him to my party again anyway because he's funny.
Yeah. So
So we say
from here, there's
goodbye.
not much left in their journey.
We say goodbye to Purdy, and Squilp smells salt on the air. So they journey for a little bit longer, and they reach the sundown place.
The ocean.
The ocean.
The cats see the ocean. Now, you know, cats traveling all day for about 2 weeks still can't get that far. So I did appreciate this book giving me a better sense of like the geography of the human scale of this place that they all live. Because they must be like an hour drive from the ocean, the two legs who live in this town that the forest is in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way that cats could
know,
get
I'm
that
like,
much
how
farther
much-
in 2 weeks of walking, especially since half of it was spent being lost in a maze
Yeah,
of a
like how
neighborhood.
far can a cat walk in a day?
It's got to be like 3 miles max or something. I don't know. Like
Like, 'cause I can
They talk
I can
about
walk
spending
3
an
miles
entire
in an
day.
hour.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they have to
But
jump
cats are small.
over so many
That is
obstacles.
true,
They have to
yeah.
be way more safe. They have to cover more and stop to hunt. You know, I don't have to stop and hunt. I just have to get a granola bar
Yeah, I
in my
just
bag.
have a fanny pack full of beef sticks and tuna.
And mice. I mean,
I stop at Mickey
mean,
D's.
Mickey D's, which stands for Mousy D's. Wait, no,
Mickey
no, that's
stands
not. No,
for
the D.
mouse, and the D stands for nothing.
No, I forgot how acronyms work. But yeah, it stands for Mickey Douse.
Mickey D's, which stands for mouse in cat kidneys, equals yum. D's.
Yeah, it's an acrostic poem.
Anyway, yeah, they reach the ocean and they start to go down the cliff, but Brambleclaw falls through like a sinkhole into the water.
No, the soil just gives
the soil
away.
gives way and Brambleclaw falls. The way it's described in the book almost felt like it opened up beneath him, like a hole. But
I mean, I've been to a lot of cliffy beaches near LA, and a lot of them are very unstable ground. It's like very like loose, sandy soil. I think a lot of the descriptions are supposed to imply that it's sand, and they don't really have a big understanding of sand.
They know
scale.
what
I'm sure
sand is. They have a cat named Sand.
Well, they've seen some sand, but like the ocean, sand at the beach is different than like sandy dirt, right? So like dirt that has partial sand in it and stuff like that is very different
think
than
these
like
cats
full
may not
sand.
know what sand is. They're naming their people after it.
They don't have to know what something is to name somebody after it.
That's true.
That's why there's a egg. Wait, that's a kitty pet. Fuck.
That's why there's golden flower.
That's why there's iPhone paw.
iPhone.
Wait, they probably know what an egg is.
Yeah.
I'm bad at this.
Yeah.
Names are not my strong suit.
It's okay.
But he's tumbling down the hill and he's talking about like the loose like ground getting into his mouth and his eyes. And I'm like, feels like sand to me. And he says like when eventually he finally falls after Stormfur tries to save him and Squirrelpaw tries to save him. He says he lands like with a soft thud in like wet pebbles and like small wet pebbles. And I'm like, that's sand. He's in the ocean now. And his dream comes true. He gets swept away he's fucking drowning. Mouths full of salty water. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine being a cat and seeing an expanse of water that big. It must be kind of terrifying.
It's scary when you're a person.
Yeah, they refer to it as like a river with only one bank.
Yeah.
Well, like these cats don't even know what a lake is. Like the biggest body of water they can think of is a river.
Yeah. They've never seen still water except for puddles.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just like full on plot from this point. There's no more.
Yeah, Brambleclaw gets washed up into the cave with fangs that he saw in his dream. And on the inside, all 6 of them meet up, and they're like, this must be the place StarClan wanted us to go. And that's when they find a big scary badger.
Ambling out of the dark reaches of the back of the cave comes a badger, and we with our foreshadowing from before are like, oh fuck, a badger.
Yeah, well, there's I
don't know about you
there's
guys,
a quote from Brambleclaw that ends an early chapter that says, cats and badgers don't mix, bottom line, like period.
Yeah.
Very heavy foreshadowing. But then I, as a very smart reader, also from the beginning had been guessing that Midnight was going to be a cat, and this badger comes ambling out of the cave, and I'm like, Midnight's the fucking badger. I guessed it right away.
Yeah, Scrump, I'm curious to know what you thought of this badger.
I mean, when the badger started talking, I was like, oh,
That's
fuck.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I was
cool.
Over the moon.
It's super cool. It's
at first
wild to be like, okay, there are other animals that are sentient that, and
but I also hate the implications.
Yeah,
like
terrifying implications.
It's really funny because we're introduced to Midnight the Badger, and Midnight the Badger is like a wise old monk. She's been like traveling all over the land, learning all these different tongues, communicating with like tribes of cats, clans of cats.
To speak cat. She learned to speak fox. She learned to speak rabbit. So rabbits can speak.
That's fucked up.
And she says it's not very much fun to speak to rabbits or foxes. Foxes only think of killing, and rabbits are just like full of stupid thoughts.
Yeah.
And she also says that there are other cats that speak different. Like they wouldn't be able. There are other cats that they wouldn't be able to talk with because the cats speak different languages, which is crazy.
Yeah,
like
because she's
the
like,
world
what are
is
you guys
expanding.
from? Tribes?
Yeah.
Oh, clans?
Yeah. She's like, there's a lot of really important stuff for you to know about Midnight, audience. One that we haven't even touched is she talks kind of like Yoda, which is hilarious.
Yeah, she talks in like broken sentences because
with a lot of like prepositions in the wrong places
The
and
clan
stuff.
language is not her native language.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
She also like knows of StarClan and knows of the prophecy. So like, did StarClan visit her in her dreams too, or
My sort of guess is that she lives in like a cave, which is similar to the Mother Mouth, and maybe she has a greater connection to StarClan by being in a cave.
Maybe.
Like perhaps there's a
these
connection
cats just
there.
got to start
It seems
living
like
in
she's
caves,
mystical
then
in
they can just
general.
talk to their dead ancestors all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe she has a special stone. We don't know. We just
That
met
is
her.
true. Yeah.
And the big news here at the end, all this interesting information shared by Midnight. You know, there's some character stuff going on where Crowpaw doesn't want to trust her, but everybody else is like, it's so interesting that you can talk to a badger, like it's blowing their minds.
Well, and they're all
And
like,
Midnight-
the dream told us to hear what Midnight tells us. And this badger introduced herself as Midnight. Brambleclaw's like, this is it. This is the guy. This is the Midnight.
And Crowpaw's like, stay where you are, Midnight, or I'll scratch your eyes out. And they're all like, shut the fuck up, Crowpaw.
Crowpaw, you're supposed to be listening to this badger. Come on.
And
Bro, chill.
she tells them all the thing that StarClan wanted them to know that Midnight has to say is Two Legs are going to destroy your forest. They are coming in to make more Thunderpath.
Yeah, they're like
for
building a
Go here
highway.
quicker, get there faster.
Building a highway
They're
through
building
the
a
forest.
highway.
Through the forest.
The Forest.
Forest.
And in order to survive this trial, they must make all clans become one and leave the forest. And Brambleclaw and everybody are like, there's no way. Leave the forest? Where will we go? And Midnight's like, I don't know where you'll go, but that's all. You got to go. That's as much as I know,
Midnight
dog.
says like there is a
I love that she's just like,
Midnight
oh.
says
Yeah.
that like there is a territory that she doesn't know where it is, but a territory with forests and hills and a place that they can go, and they just have to find it.
Untouched by Two
Yeah,
Legs.
that's like far away
Called
from
Vinland.
Yeah,
Any Vinland Saga
somewhere that's not
watchers or
here,
readers.
across the sea where there's no war or slavery or Two Legs.
Yes. I think that she kind of implies that there are many possible places, like that the world is very big. Like meeting this whole series, and this is basically the end of the book. This whole series is like, seems like it's setting up to be basically an exploration of what it is like when these cats that we grew to know in the previous series learn that the world is so much bigger than they thought it was. Because I don't know how they're going to deal with all the different things they're going to encounter. I don't know how they're going to get out of the forest. Part of me wonders, do you guys think that the series is going to go in the direction of them trying to stop the Two Legs, or do you think they're actually just going to leave the forest? Because I was not
I
sure
can't
about
say.
it.
I think they're just gonna leave. They may try to fight it first, but
I think that
it'll
there will
clear
be
they won't
conflict about
win.
them leaving, but that they will
That makes sense,
simply have to leave.
There will be lots of hemming and hawing, I'm sure.
I think that you're probably right, but part of me doesn't want to believe it just because I don't understand how they're going to get so many more books out of this series if they leave. Because the forest feels like
Again, yeah, this felt a little jumping the shark to me with this, just
Yeah.
immediately like, all this shit we just established actually
Well, we
wouldn't.
had
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We had sort of hints of this in the first series, of like
Yeah,
that
it's
the
true.
Two Legs were encroaching more and more and doing worse and worse things in the territory, and now it has
on the
come
river,
to
the logging.
Yeah, the pollution in the river, the fire that ran through the forest that almost certainly happened because of Two Legs.
Yeah.
The
Like,
dogs.
it's absolutely foreshadowed. I just thought it'd take another week. Or another
Another
series.
week.
I mean. Like, I thought sorry.
Another quarter moon.
Another quarter
I
moon.
thought we'd have, like... Yeah. I thought we'd have another whole series with this forest at the very least. But
No, we're getting
Maybe
the-
not.
Or even
fetch out of here.
even alternatively, I always thought when we got out of the forest, it would just be because a new series started us with new cats. Like I always thought that'd be like, okay, the forest is no longer around because we're just entirely new place. Like I didn't really imagine that it would be about leaving the current forest. It's very interesting. I'm excited to see where it goes. Yeah, but Midnight tells them about how their world is so much bigger than they ever knew, and also says, it's important that you came to see me instead of just being told all this by StarClan, because look around. When you left, you were 6, and now you're 1, and you must do the same for the clans. And also, what you don't understand is that your journey does not end here. It actually only just begins. So I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot more trials to get home, is what I'm imagining. But who knows?
Yeah, because these cats step 1, go find a place to live. Step 2, go back to the forest. Or they could do that in a different order. Step 3, get every freaking cat in the forest in one, like, massive, like, pioneer expedition group to leave all at once and go find this new place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my question was definitely, how are they getting back? Like, they don't know how they got
like,
here.
how do they feed 4 whole clans of cats on this journey? And it's setting up for a lot of big conflict, I think.
My question along the lines of yours, Toasty, about like how are they getting back is also like, how do they explain, like, how does meeting a badger that can speak their language change the rest of their entire lives? Like, are they going to try and learn badger? Like, are they going to try and pick up new friends on the way back? Are they going to try and bring Purdy back? Like, I think that there's going to be a lot of finding new allies, probably, or maybe new enemies. Who knows? It's a very...
Also, sorry, this book does another new, first for the series. They do an epilogue.
Yeah, it's like
true.
a 2-page epilogue.
And I was just not expecting that. Because I guess that bit was not enough of a cliffhanger for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta check back in with the leaf paw again before the book ends. And it's only 2 pages. They're out on a patrol, and, trees are getting knocked over. Like, the 2 legs they're doing it. Like, the destruction of the forest has begun.
There's no regular monsters on the road, and I was like, oh no, that's not a good sign. And then they hear a really low rumbling, and I'm like, oh no, that's not a good sign. And then they see really slow, huge monsters coming towards them with a bunch of humans, crawling all over them, which is construction workers. And then
demolition vehicles.
Terrifying. And then they veer off the Thunderpath straight towards them, and they start knocking over trees. And that's where the book ends.
The final line of the book is, the destruction of the forest had begun. Full stop.
Terrifying.
It's over. Jesus.
Now, officially, anytime we jump back to Leafpaw's perspective, it's about to be
way more
crazy.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that we didn't end up touching on from Leafpaw's perspective is that there was another gathering where all the clans check in about their missing warriors. And also, something that they state as being interesting is Hawkfrost, a normal warrior, not deputy, not medicine cat, not leader, starts conflict with Wind Clan because Hawkfrost says, I saw Wind Clan warriors stealing prey. So not only is the forest being destroyed, the tension between the clans is only growing and growing and growing, and they're all going to have to come together to overcome this big problem, but now there are smaller problems. So very obviously, Hawkfrost and potentially Mothwing as a point of tension between the clans is going to contribute to a lot of conflict moving forward through the series.
Yep.
A lot of really cool stuff set up in this book.
This book is very interesting, but it is also very obviously lots of setup for the next 5 books.
Yeah.
Huge
I'm very
cliffhangers.
excited about.
Yeah, we're only touching the
I'm
surface
so
of whatever
excited.
this journey is going to be. It's very fun. Very, very fun. I was conflicted about, how it was going to be to get new protagonists. And I think, for me, overall, a little bit of the magic wore off, but I still really enjoyed the character work. I think that that's where these books really shine. So, throughout all of it, they are really good at character interaction and creating interesting developments. It's great. Same reason that I love Gray Stripe is why I love Crowpaw. That's the sauce that they got. These cats are interesting characters.
Yeah.
Me,
And
I felt like
they've only just been established too, so they're only gonna get more interesting, hopefully, from here on.
For me, I felt like my passion was reinvigorated almost. I felt like the magic was coming back. It was
We were all left
No
a
offense
little
to
bit
the-
unsatisfied at the end of the
Yeah.
last series with the
That's
Tiger
true.
Star plot being cut short. So
it felt a little underwhelming. So starting up with just so much going on and so many characters and so much intrigue, I'm really enjoying it.
Just,
And
getting to
I
move
feel
on.
excited to get back into it.
Yeah.
getting to move on with the cast of characters that we already knew but didn't really get to delve into is so fun. Getting, the core group of Brambleclaw, Tawny Pelt, Stormfur, and Feathertail, who all come from, similar situations of, being split between multiple clans, the River Clan cats having their father in Thunder Clan, and Tawny Pelt and Brambleclaw still having the shadow of Tiger Star lingering over them. Although it's not addressed much in this book. I'm sure that the reason why we have Brambleclaw as our protagonist is because, in a very similar way to Firepaw at the beginning of Series 1, he's a character whose origins give him a lot to prove. He's already gonna have to fight harder than every other cat just to prove the bare minimum of loyalty for himself, which the lion's share has already been done, it seems, through the Battle with Blood Clan. But now with this new prophecy, giggling at me saying lion share.
Lion mentioned. Woo!
We did it. I'm very excited to see these characters. I'm really hoping that at some point when we have all the clans together in one spot, when all the conflict has been resolved, we get to see, since we have this precedent of split perspectives, I'd love to see perspectives from other clan cats. Because right now we've got Brambleclaw and Leafpaw, who are both in ThunderClan. I would love if we split up and we get to follow Feathertail for a little while. Or we get to follow Tawny Pelt or Crowpaw. I would love that.
I have a feeling they won't do it, though. Because that would be a really big split from the first series where it was literally one the entire time. I think 2 now is for mechanical reasons so that we can check back into the clan, but I'd be very surprised if we got new perspectives next book. We can see Mothwing, so we can see her also lesing out.
Please, please, please.
What if Mothwing's just not into it?
I would respect that.
Man.
How devastated would you be, Scrump?
I'd be a little sad. I'm going to be posting fan edits after this. Just two cats bumping heads.
Make some fan edits to post on the TikTok.
Time jump 10 years in the future when they're both the medicine cats of their 10 years. That's a long time for cats.
10 years.
4 years when they're both the medicine cats of their clans and there's tension and they're meeting in secret.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait to move forward. I'm really excited now that we have all of this story and characters established for it to just get more and more interesting.
Me too.
Well, with that, we all love this book. If you haven't read this book or the previous series, go check them out.
I guess theoretically you could start with this book.
I mean, you could.
I would.
I'm trying to make onboarding easier. If you want to, if it helps, you start with this book and then go back to the other ones.
I'm an elitist. Don't skip part 1. No part skipping.
It's all filler. You can skip that.
That's how Dragon Ball Z fans talk. As if Dragon Ball isn't 40% of the whole series. It's just yeah, you can start at Warriors Midnight. It doesn't matter how Firestar got to be leader. They explain everything. No, they don't. Come on. Be fucking for real. If you enjoyed this episode, check us out on our social medias. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky at WarriorsPod. That's PAWD. If you want to reach out to us, you can leave us a comment on YouTube, or I think there's also comments on Spotify, aren't they?
Yep.
Leave us a comment. Tell us how you like the episode. If you want to reach out to us, we also have an email. That's warriorspod@gmail.com, spelled the same way. Any thoughts about the episode? Any recommendations? The one thing I ask in your comments and emails is please try to refrain from talking about future books, just because we are planning on reading everything at some point.
Eventually.
We will get to it. You just have to be patient.
I can assure you all that we will. I have a list of books in release date order. We're going to be following that. So we will get to your favorite book eventually. We will get to books that explain more of maybe some of the mysteries of this series. We will get to those. Just please refrain from talking about future installments, because I promise we will get to them.
I will eventually forget your favorite cat's name too. Don't worry about it.
If you want to see more of me, I'm on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Jaron D Ratman. I don't have a set schedule, but I stream some fun stuff. So come check us out. Scrump, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna plug my good buddy stuff instead of mine because I'm so generous. Check out their Twitch at twitch.tv/a little bit toasty. All of their socials are at Itty Bitty Toasty.
I thought you were being serious.
He is being serious.
I am being
Sorry,
serious.
Scrump's so serious.
Yeah, I am being serious. Anyways, and also check out their Etsy shop, which is the only official merchandise this podcast has, which is also Itty Bitty Toasty. If you mention you're a fan of the podcast in the order notes, I will send you a free sticker. So, a whole free sticker. I'm so generous.
I need
and
to
cool.
do that too.
I need to do that. I need to get a free sticker. I gotta make our mutual friend between the three of us, Toasty, walk to his mailbox and back over and over.
No,
Yeah.
not the mailbox.
I would hate
again.
to. I would hate to do it though because I hate lying and I fucking hate this podcast. So.
If you make sure you follow Michael B. Jordan on Instagram, and make sure you follow Grandpa James home from the local grocery store and say hi to him and his family.
It's hard to miss me. I don't have anything to plug, but if you like our podcast, make sure to check out our other show where we look at and review every British neighborhood, rate them based on how easy it would be to get lost there as a cat. Turns out most of them pretty easy.
I put myself in the mind of a cat. I'm getting lost everywhere.
True.
I don't even know how to follow the sun.
Thanks for listening.
See you
See
guys
you next
later.
moon.
Until next moon.
Until next moon.
Now we gotta get better at ending this podcast.
I kind of want to be Grandpa James. I want to take your name.
You want to take Mitchell Crispi? You want to take Grandpa James?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no
All
names left for me.
co-hosts old enough to gather their own prey, gather beneath the high rock. This name no longer fits this host.
Can I protest to this ceremony?
No.
You can just get to
Under the watch
decide.
of Star Clan, I grant this host the name Mitchell Crispi. And then someone in the crowd goes, "Hey, wait a minute!"
That's my name.